Launch 'em. It's a Cleveland Moto podcast. We're in Cleveland Moto podcast number 302. 302. The 302. And so as you guys can see, we're outside. Our governor came on the air yesterday and told us we're pretty well fuckered. Yep. We're hooped. 7,000 some odd new cases in the state of Ohio. Just lining them up, knocking them down.
We're fucked.
So extremely far to my left, actually through the fire.
Yes.
On the other side of the fire. Now, as the fire goes down, our podcast viewers may be able to actually see.
Yeah.
Steve, are you over there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
We are at least 12 feet apart with an actual monster fire between us.
That's the anti-COVID device.
Yes, it is.
Fire cleanses all.
You know, the only thing I'm getting from you right now is a nice, warm, toasty COVID. Yeah. It's a nice smoked COVID.
Yeah.
It's one of them, pay a little more for the extra smoked COVID.
When you cook it, it's not too bad.
No, it's really nice, but you got to cook it.
Yeah, definitely.
Filet mignon COVID.
So, what's your ride here today, Steve?
My passport, my
And
81
what did you
passport.
wear tonight, Steve?
Shorts.
And how cold is it, Steve?
I'm boiling.
It's fucking hot as hell out here right now. I'll tell you that.
Your entire parking lot's 70.
Yeah, right. The grass is going to start growing up to the cracks of the parking lot at any moment. The bottom of the burn barrel is cherry red.
Oh yeah. They can't figure out why Lorraine Avenue has a general temperature 7 degrees higher than the rest of Cleveland.
Exactly. They thought it was all the PCBs, and it's not. It's just us.
The fire trucks are just driving back and forth looking for the hot spot.
That's the funny part is, since we've come out here today, it has been nonstop emergency vehicles.
I know.
We have never seen the end of these sirens. I don't know what's going on that way, but it's special.
It is.
Yeah.
There's definitely
It ain't
something.
us.
Yeah, more special than us, that's for sure.
Because clearly they wouldn't even stop by, slow down, and give us a squirt at this point.
No.
And these guys are coming from like the 98th district, to catch up with the 3rd district. So.
I just have to assume. Oh, here we go.
God.
Here we go. Yeah, okay. This is for you, our podcast listeners. If you've got headphones in right now,
You're welcome.
man. So, whatever it is, Thursday night in Cleveland, COVID, probably going to be in a lockdown 5 days from now.
That's all the people with COVID going to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but they've already said we're in danger close of running out of those special COVID beds.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not good right now.
It's not. So, did you do any other riding today, Steve? Or are you just commuting?
No, I've been driving my Town Ace because I'm trying to finish off that. I got that new property.
Yeah.
Lovingly called the Junkyard.
Perfect.
And I'm working on my my new humble commode, my shipping containers. So I got to pick up some doors. I got 2-inch bar stock, or not bar stock, a square tube stock, because I'm going to weld it in and make frames for all the doors and windows.
You're going to frame in doors and windows into these shipping containers.
Well, just mine.
Are these 40
the one
footers or
that they're
50 footers?
using, I don't give a shit. But I'm making a third of the shipping container, my big shipping container, or my taller shipping container, is going to be my living.
So the high top is how many feet long?
40.
40. Okay.
Oh my God, that's big.
Well, that's pretty much it, the way you do it.
Yeah. So I put solar on it.
Yeah.
I have a 3 kW array. I have, and I turn the meter backwards. I put electrical into it. I have a distribution box and an inverter. I have a backup, so I can run on battery power only.
Right. Yeah.
I have a bunch of bamboo flooring. I'm doing the whole interior with bamboo flooring.
Nice.
It's gonna be a sweet little.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is when this is done and all of our wives kick us out, we have a place to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to buy my own container and put it out there.
Me too.
Do you lease space for containers?
I'm just going to leave the wheels under mine.
Just in case.
Because we'll need that if we have to move all of these. Yeah. One of them will have to still have wheels under them.
These clubs, like for cigars and everything.
Yeah.
So why not have a container club?
Oh, fuck yeah. Right.
You have your container and your companion beverage.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
It is an excellent
This
idea.
container
There
pairs well with a
With a 60-inch TV and a blunt.
When I used to live in Lyndhurst, I always drive past this house, and the house had almost no windows, and there'd always be like 4 Cadillacs parked in this weird driveway, right? And it was just constant, but it wasn't really taken care of on the outside.
Right.
It was just a house, right? So one day there's a guy outside and I stopped and I'm like, hey man, I don't mean to be rude, but I pass here all the time.
Right.
It's the same 4 cars. He's like, come here, I'll show you. He took me in.
Yeah.
4 old Italian guys got sick of their wives.
Oh,
And
nice.
and they bought a house
And they
in
bought a
Mayfield
house.
Heights, and that's
Just a
their hangout.
clubhouse.
It has a giant
Wow.
TV, a bar. The kitchen was just like laid out for making stuff, and then like there was no bedrooms. Each room was like a gaming room,
Yeah,
like a pool
exactly.
table room, like.
Right.
And so that was it. And like they
It's
were
actually a resort.
yeah, for
It's a private
themselves.
club. Right.
And it's like, and for them to buy that house where it is, the house was probably 130,000.
Oh, I'm saying they
So
each
between-
had to kick in $100 a month.
Like I think 200 or
mortgage.
something. Yeah, right around $200 a month. You know what? That's
Yeah.
like a club due.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it was really
that's
good.
totally club dues. And to his east, because when we're this far apart, we really can't say left or right anymore.
Down yonder is Johnny Mac.
Yeah, you're in the what do they call that? You're in the pasture now. Yeah.
I'm in the mid-rent district.
In the mid-rent district.
I'm not in the low rent, but I'm not
Yeah.
really in the good area. I'm like sort of in the periphery.
Yeah,
What you
But
been
I'm
up to,
also
man?
What have I been up to?
Yeah.
You know, just a lot of the same old stuff, working hard, doing my stuff at home. What is? Oh, did I talk about firing up the generator during the brownout? Yeah, did that.
So you did fire up the Jenny.
Yeah, tied it into the house.
Good.
Did it. I wanted to just try it out before, never know.
Is it a 5K dub?
It is it's 6.75.
So almost 7,000 kilowatts.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I mean, no,
A
watts.
safe kilowatts. 7 kilowatts.
Yeah,
Right,
almost 7 kilowatts.
Right,
It's a big
7
old Harbor Freight one.
Yeah.
But I just
Is it a Predator?
It's a Predator.
Yep.
I just I have a pigtail that I just wire into.
Can't have it anywhere near the school.
No, I'm just out of range of the
school.
Yeah,
That's
Lincoln.
it.
a big horn goes off.
Seriously.
It worked
Harbor
really nice.
Freight, you called your shit Predator.
I know.
You just called everything you sell Predator. What the fuck, man? Here comes our new line of impact drills called the Inappropriate Touch.
I'm just saying. I mean, for what it takes to buy a generator.
Right.
I mean, Lucy's on Marketplace or Craigslist.
Yep.
Maybe $300, or a small one at Harbor Freight, $300.
Yep.
Buy yourself a little pigtail. I wired it in through the garage and backfed the house.
Back to the house. Yeah.
So, I mean, I fired it up, and then all my neighbors, started calling and like, hey, how do you have power and there's no power? I'm like, well, we got
yeah.
a generator. Oh, you suck. Oh,
You suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, so do you have a pigtail, so you put like 2 male lens on something?
No. I wired it right into my box.
Directly into an outlet.
So it's got 4 conductors. So
Right.
you got your red, your black, your white neutral, and then a
Yep.
green ground.
Yep.
And then it comes out through the wall, and I just plug it into the generator.
And then do you turn off your main?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the first thing you do is go in, turn off your main.
Got to turn off your main. Yeah.
Start up the generator. You want the generator running when you put a load on it.
Yep.
And then you plug it in and whoa.
Yeah. Nice.
And ran the whole house, everything.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fridge and everything, just going great.
Perfect.
Basically on the 2 wires that are going from your house to your garage.
4 wires.
4
but
wires.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very
And
cool.
It did it pretty well and everything. I mean, I could do different if I wanted to move it closer and just run it, but it didn't have a problem. I didn't try firing up the dryer or any of the
Right.
220 stuff.
Yeah, the one that I set up for my father-in-law out at the farm, I set up a 8K dub, super expensive diesel generator out there. And yeah, but I had to put it into the box and
Yeah,
put
you
a
wanna-
brake and outbreaker.
Yeah,
and
I'm
everything.
doing
Yeah.
not even a manual transfer. This is
Right.
like you got to hook it up.
Yep.
Peggy's like, you'll have to show me how to do that. I'm like,
No, you don't.
No.
If I have to show you how to do this, that is a record. We might be on the 9th emergency vehicle.
Yeah.
That thing didn't even get back into the firehouse.
No.
Well, they just did a circle in front and sent him back out again. Yeah. These guys are getting a lot of runs tonight. So for our podcast listeners, today at 4 o'clock or so, when we called and said we were going to do this, I had 1 pallet. I mean, my wood, I'd taken all the wood. I've been cleaning house and we've been burning some wood here. I was down to ein pallet. Steve, you brought the gas station wood.
Yep.
And then John brought apparently a half a rick in the back of his.
Yeah, this is
Sport is
all
literally-
wood from my tree when we cut my tree down. I
Right
still have
on.
them.
And then we went and stole some from the neighbors scrap pile and stuff. So we have plenty of wood now.
A little bit of fryer grease.
Little fryer grease to help the bouquet. Little clots, the odor de clots, castor oil.
I got something to help that later too.
Oh yeah, you do. I saw that. Right. Seeds and stems. That's all it is. It's seeds and stems. Yeah. Want to make sure we do that when we're done, so we don't have all the neighborhood people coming out and going, party.
I smell clots.
I smell clots. Yeah, you do, don't you? And then to his south.
Nick Devitto.
Nick, this is the first time I have seen you not riding a two-wheeled vehicle in a very long time.
Yep. Nope. I drove tonight. It's a little bit too chilly. I don't actually know what the temperature is.
It's 40.
It's 40.
It's not 40 exactly. Right at this very moment, we are at 49.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention,
No,
too,
strike that. 44.
that I saw Nick this last weekend over at Bruce's house.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's right.
Interesting.
And I see that he added something to his arsenal.
I bought a motorcycle. It has push rods. My first motorcycle with push rods.
Anywhere Nick goes, he buys a motorcycle.
You got a Knucklehead CT90.
Yeah. A Knucklehead CT90. Yep. Wow.
CT200.
Yeah. That is cooking it old school right there.
And it was at a price that, like, if I could have pushed anything into my garage more, I would have taken it myself.
Yeah.
But like, just there's
No, I could barely fit in my garage. In fact, Bruce offered me another bike.
Well, they're skinny.
Yeah. But Bruce also had a C200, which is the road-going version of it.
That's right.
I just couldn't take another motorcycle. I am at capacity.
They do sell sheds in Home Desperate,
Right.
Yeah.
And Nick, how did you get this motorcycle home?
Honda CRV.
Oh, you put it in the back of the CRV.
Yeah, that's the way I got the CT90 home too.
Right.
So
did you go there with one, or did you go there with one and come back with two, or?
no, I actually went Saturday with the trail hopper. I was riding the trail hopper around Saturday, and I didn't come back Sunday because I was autocrossing.
Okay.
So I came back Monday or Tuesday with the CRV to pick up the CT200.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's great.
got it running. Put some fresh gas in it and started right up with a fresh battery, of course.
Yeah.
And
Those guys were saying that Don, who sold it to Bruce moments before you bought it from Bruce, was saying that it was smoking. Did you have any smoking issues?
a little bit. Yeah.
But you're going to have that.
Right. I don't really care. So
Yeah.
It might need a ring or two, you know?
Yeah.
It might just need wrung out.
That's usually the first thing that you do.
yeah.
Because then you'll either run the smoke out of it or run the seals out of it, one of the two.
Yeah.
In any case, it's either fixed or fucked,
Well, if I ever get to the point where I feel like fixing a motorcycle, then I'll dig into it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, that's fucking cool. That's great.
Yeah.
My favorite bike of the weekend was the YZ80. That
Man.
thing was a lot
guys-
more than what I would have ever thought it could be.
Oh my God.
Don't ever underestimate a two-stroke 80.
Yeah.
Because really, two-stroke 80s were only built to be competitive. So it doesn't matter who made it, but like, if somebody says, "Oh, look, it's a KTM 80, it's adorable," if it has an expansion chamber on it, be very fucking careful.
Expansion chamber this big.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. So like I went on Sunday, so I hung out with I missed Nick, but John and everybody on Sunday, and so he was like, "Hey, here, go ahead and ride it,"
Yeah.
And I hadn't been on a two-stroke like that in a while, and you're on it, and you're like, "This isn't that bad." It's like, and then you think the power, and you're like, "Okay, that must have been it," and then it goes.
Nope. That's every ridiculously tiny two-stroke. But then imagine though, when you get into the dumb shit,
The 500,
the 410s,
Yeah,
and the
the
490s, and all that crazy crap, and you're just like, oh my god,
Really?
So then you start thinking about the MotoGP guys that were racing 500 and 750 two-stroke bikes.
Yeah. Well, that's why they did it. It's
That's
cheap
insane.
power. You can't get cheaper, lighter power.
No, it's insane, man.
I just kept saying to myself, this little $500 bike could put you at $1,500 worth of hospital bills real
Easy
quick.
peasy. Right.
I just can't imagine. Like, can you imagine a dad not really knowing and getting a kid back in the day? One of those.
Well, that's exactly what happened with that bike. That Bruce got that bike for a friend of his to give to his son. And they took one ride on it, and they're like, oh, no. This is not for him. This
My
is not
brother let my nephew buy, just a little dirt bike so he could run around with his cousins.
Yeah.
And my nephew, Anthony, he's a shrewd businessman. I mean, he's my nephew. And he managed to score a KTM 80 two-stroker. And I mean, what a fucking beast. And my brother was like, Phil, do you think that is that an okay bike for him? I'm like, fuck no. No, that is going to kill every one of his 17-year-old asses. Like, he don't have enough lives, and he's already a diabetic with a pump on his hip.
Yeah,
Why are you trying to make your life more expensive? Right?
I just thought, like, when that power band hit, so about the third time I kind of got used to it, and then it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and like, now you think back to the Travis Pastranas and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're riding these 250s and 125s, hitting that power band and then flying off a 30-foot ramp.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
It's nuts,
Oh,
man.
it's
Like,
crazy.
Until you remember that feeling, it's always impressive.
Right.
But when you have that and you're going with that, looking at that video, it's like, fuck.
And when we think about jumping stuff, or if I'm going to do anything like that, I'm going to want predictable results.
Right.
Right? I'm going to want to know that I'm landing in the safe place every single time.
Right.
There is nothing predictable about a two-stroke.
Right. No.
It is completely just like, I'm okay, totally going to fuck you.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just like that.
Well, when we first dug it out on Sunday, like we pushed it out of the shed and ran it down the driveway, got it running, and
Bump started your fucking balls off.
I was riding it around when it was cold, and it was like nothing.
Right.
Then it starts hitting a
Starts to
little bit,
rip
then
a
it
little
goes,
bit. Yep.
and I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb bike.
Going
I set
to
it
hell.
down, and they were passing it around, but once it was warmed up, it was like just anger the entire way.
Well, you only get it like you can ride it pretty normal. It was nice,
Right.
but you only get it when you go full throttle, and then all of a sudden, like right when you think I should shift, it goes. Yeah, it's just like right at the end.
I'm just going to rev it just a tiny bit. No, you're not. You're going to die now. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Next thing you know, your teeth are getting knocked out by the handlebars.
And of course, let's put really small wheels on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And
because of whole science. You
And
know,
the
like
shocks were not like in good condition. Like when me and John were riding
no. Tell me again how the shocks that are 40 years old are not just dialed in under your 293 pound ass.
When I first rode it, the brakes didn't work, and the clutch was always just stuck on.
Like John's three-wheeler.
So riding this bike's a little bit tricky. Okay, the clutch really doesn't work. There's no brakes whatsoever. The suspension's completely bottomed out.
It's crabbing.
Right. It's crabbing,
Yeah.
and you can't change. Don't go anywhere near first gear.
No.
Yeah, but other than that, it's totally safe. Go have fun. Yeah.
And it's got a power band with like fucking Satan's tail on the end of it. It's-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shit. So you've been up to anything, Steve?
Well, that last week did a whole bunch of stuff Saturday.
Yeah.
Friday, whatever house stuff.
Steve figured out his perfect gun.
Yes.
It was the Onshoots
Oh, the Onshoots.
single
So-
shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With
So-
the whisper rounds.
John brought fun guns.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
things that like when he goes, do you want to shoot a few? I don't feel bad or like I have to hand him $50.
Right.
You know, like it's okay. Yeah. Whatever.
We're not going into the double secret ammo
Right.
reserve here.
No,
Yeah.
and it was super fun. It was super like when it's that accurate, it makes it really fun.
Yeah,
Then
it
it's
is.
just like okay, slow your breathing and try to hit it.
Yeah.
But then next to us was like Doofus 1 and Doofus 2.
One was named Kyle.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't Kyle, of course.
Have you seen Kyle?
Yeah,
He's about this tall.
I think the other guy's name might have been Kyle as well. But they were 17 or 16, and they had all the, you know what I'm saying, jokes.
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
women
yeah.
and
Oh
everything.
yeah. All right.
And then
yeah.
on top of that, they had to go through like $29,000 worth of large ammunition.
Right.
And I don't know how they had it.
Because you're shooting exactly 41 feet away.
Right.
Right.
Not
you're,
even.
You're
like
shooting
25 or
into what should be a koi pond.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You're shooting into something the ducks land on and they get crowded. Yeah.
But like I got there at 11:30
Yeah.
and hung out with John and Bruce and we're talking, and then John's like, hey, you want to go shoot? We went down and plinked a few,
Yeah.
came back up and spent another 2 hours talking. Then John played guitar, then we rode shit around for an hour. Then
Right.
it got to be like 4 and he's like, you want to plink? Let's go plink. Well, he's starting up the fire.
Yeah.
And I left at 5 and they had been shooting from before I got there until when we left. And it wasn't small stuff. It
No.
was like,
Yeah, a cannon.
Yeah, but like that's always been
They
my
were shooting
joke.
shotguns a lot.
Yeah, my joke with that is always like, you could throw a rock at what you're aiming at
right.
and make a bigger splash in the water, you know? But if you just want to make the water jump,
and they
Right.
love going through their, like, whatever the round or the magazines hung out below the thing.
yeah, you go into an extended magazine, so your Glock doesn't hold 15 rounds. It holds 30 rounds, you know?
And they like to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And the can that they were shooting is nothing. It's
No,
just, like
just take
air.
the sear pin out and let it run. Yeah.
It's still there. They didn't hit it.
Safest place in the world, that can.
I took a box of clays though. That's always
Now,
fun.
clays are a blast. Yeah.
Just to shoot them.
Very rewarding. Yeah.
And you got to clean up all the pieces. I taught Piper that. I'm
Oh,
like,
you did?
Yeah, you just took the center out of that.
Oh,
one.
that's
Now
all
gotta
you
get
did.
the rest of it.
No, there's still a lot more hits that clay can take. Yeah.
And you brought, or I don't know if it's Bruce's or yours, but the fun thing is that little twirly thing. Like
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
spinners.
that's mine. Yeah, the little pendulum thing.
Yeah,
that's
I left
super
one of
fun.
those triple spinners there last time, so I don't know what became of
It
it.
may be laying in the mud. I had to dig
Probably
mine
is.
out of the
Oh, you
ground.
did?
Yeah, it was like I couldn't find it.
The
Beat it around, shoot it a few times till it breaks loose.
yeah, until it frees up a little bit. The yeah, it's always It's always so much fun. The I had to have quality wife time. So my wife has not ridden a motorcycle this year, I swear. And so that's what we did was we took the day and we went out on the zeros. So Merritt has never ridden the SRF, right? So she's never ridden the SRF. The SRF has a lower seat than the S does. You can buy a low seat option for it. So actually you can purchase a much, much lower seat than the factory one that comes on it. So we put the low seat on the SRF and it's a heavier bike, it's like 500-pound motorcycle compared to the S, which is like a 340-pound motorcycle. But we had a blast. We changed bikes several times throughout the day and really had a good time. And she was very much loving it. And it was just a blast to go ripping around all day on the electrics. And
Where'd you go?
we went through the metro parks. We did all the way down to the bottom of the west side of the metro parks and then transferred across to the east side of the metro parks and then came up a bit on the east side of the metro parks and came back.
Nice.
When we got back, I had 30% battery remaining in the SRF, and the bike she was on was just a 7.2, and she had 8% battery left in the S in the 7.2. So yeah, we had a good ride. It was
How
a
many
good
miles
time.
do you think you did?
A lot. Probably 70 miles, 75 miles.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, that's about right. And yeah,
I was gonna say, it's Saturday. I went for a little bit. I had to do all this shit, but I snuck out, and I had this mindset of going to a couple roads.
right.
And I get to them, and there was like trailers. Like, do you ever get to the thing? Like, I rode all the way out to ride these
Oh,
particular
shit,
things.
yeah.
And just guys on trailers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck.
It's no fun, man. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and these roads, I mean, Metro Parks roads, every Metro Park road is 30 miles an hour.
But it's fun.
So you're not going fast. So the electrics love it. But, there's a little lean angle involved, so that's fun. Yeah.
We're on 10. This is 10.
This is 10. This is the 10th emergency vehicle. Yeah. This is probably just a transport. Lakewood again, man. Apparently shit's on fire in Lakewood.
Yeah.
Like Lakewood is moving some bodies. Fairview Park's ER is remarkably crowded for a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Don't want to be there. No how, no way. So guys, today we had a bike come into the shop yesterday, and podcast listeners from way, way back will remember this bike. But there was a Honda CB350G that got painted in a non-standard Corvette yellow. It's a bright yellow with the black scallops on the side of the tanks. It's a CB350G, so it has the disc brake. And this thing was just as clean as anything you'd ever seen, okay? I mean, just an immaculately clean bike. And we had this thing years ago, 9-10 years ago. And Shane had rebuilt it. And so it had all the seals and gaskets and shit were fresh in it. And it was just a really good, perfect bike. I mean, the perfect CB350. And then when we added the tins to it, they weren't painted a correct Honda color because Honda never used that bright Corvette yellow. But it looked nice. It was a good looking bike.
Cam would have loved it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bright. Yeah, perfect yellow. Oh, awesome. So this guy's had this bike we sold to him, 8 or 9 years ago. And when we sold it to him, it had maybe 3,200 miles on it. Okay. Nothing. Super virgin bike, and it had been gone through every which way. So he calls, gonna bring it in, and I'm like, yeah, save it for winter because vintage stuff we want to do that stuff in the winter. We don't want to do that in the summer. So he brings it by the other day, and he's like, yeah, Phil, I hate to tell you this, but I've just been really busy at work, and the bike's been sitting for almost 2 years. I said, all right. He goes, so I went out. It kind of wants to start with a fresh battery. You know, hook a fresh battery up to it. It kind of wants to start. It's farting a little bit. I can get it to run, but I think maybe it's only running on one. And I'm like, okay, all right, fair enough. And, but just, you know, whatever it takes, man. I'm in no hurry. So I said, great. That's no problem. I love this guy, man. This guy's he's got great karma for us. He's always been super great about it, and he loves that CB350. And he rides it all the time. So it's a really good bike for him. Now, he's an East Sider, so he used to have us work on the bike when we had a East Side shop open. He comes over on the trailer. Just a nice guy. We unload the bike, and he's like, well, you know, I put a good battery in. It'll probably start right now if we want to just fire it up. I'm like, dude, if it hasn't run in 2 years, I'd really rather not start it. Just bear with me. Let's just keep what demons are going around, going around.
Right. Jello through.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go get a training aid real quick.
I think if you check your phone,
Yeah, are those the pictures of it?
I have a feeling
Oh
that
no.
these are the pictures. So
All right, so we're looking here.
Phil, do these pictures correspond to that bike?
They do.
Oh.
So I'm going to pass this part around. Don't lose the slip pin. Don't lose the slip pin.
Oh, that's
So
exactly
if
what
anybody
I
knows what this part is,
Yeah.
this is the chain adjuster. This is the chain pulley, actually, the wheels, the rollers from inside the Honda motorcycle.
well, that's convenient. You never have to tighten your chain. It just tenses it for
So
you.
this has a wheel, these little wheels, and the chain runs across here. And then depending on where you move the adjuster, right, then this puts more or less tension on the chain. Now I'm going to hand it around. It's been cleaned up, so you don't need to worry about getting your greasy fingers.
That's the derailleur.
So yeah, that's the derailleur off the back of your mountain bike.
Oh.
See if you can figure out what's wrong with it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's a problem.
So that's a problem, isn't
There
it?
you go.
So first things first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just keep the grudging pin in there.
Yep. Yeah.
The so first things first, I gotta tell you, the bike ran like that.
Wow.
I can tell. It's got grooves worn in it. That's incredible.
And I will post pictures of these parts on our
Wow.
Facebook page and stuff. So this bike was running. Not only was this bike running, but he swears to God he had 80 miles an hour two up, and that his wife is no dainty flower, and he's no little guy himself. And he goes, Phil, I don't, because when it came in, it is spraying oil out the left
Steven?
side head gasket.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's oil literally misting out. And that's why the guy's like, it still runs great. And I'm like, if it's pushing oil out and you can see oil spraying and feel it on your leg,
Yeah.
it's not running great. He goes, yeah, it still gets up to speed, no problem, and idles and everything. And he's like, since you put that electronic ignition on there, it's been bulletproof. And I'm like, if it's spraying oil on your leg, it's not good. So if you take a look at the cylinder head pictures I sent you,
Is that the intake or outtake that has the golf ball pattern on it?
that would be the intake valve that
Okay.
looks like it has been exploded with a grenade.
Yeah.
And been hammered on by the world's smallest angry blacksmith.
Yeah, right.
And
Did you find the other half of the pulley?
no, we didn't find the rest of the parts. The motor's a part in the back. We'll go look at it later. But so what I will have to say, and you can actually look at the cylinders and see there is a notch that looks like you filed a notch out of the wall in the cylinder.
Yeah.
Where is the quote head gasket leak? But it's a head gasket leak that a small-sized cat could crawl through. There's not a head gasket missing. There's an actual chunk out of the fucking cylinder.
I can see it. in
Where the
this
liner is, where you could literally put parts of your body.
Right.
And this bike was running.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Was it running on both cylinders?
No, well, that's the thing is I wondered whether it was running on both cylinders or not. But the scoring and the inside of the left cylinder is so extreme.
Yeah.
The piston I don't know if I sent you guys pictures of the pistons or not, but the right piston, these pistons were new
Oh, wow.
when Shane did the motor. And the right
not.
piston looks beautiful. It looks like a new piston. The left pistone is not so bueno.
I'll have
I
these
wonder what's
pictures. I'll put
is
them
there
in the
anything
video.
inside the airbox? Did a mouse move in and suck shit?
It
in
didn't look like it. It really didn't look like it, but something awful happened. Like what I'm thinking is the left side of the cam stopped getting oil. because if you look, I also have pictures of the cam and the valve actuators. The followers, they are chewed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now the chain is my favorite part. The chain now looks exactly like a chainsaw chain.
Oh, it's got teeth on it.
It's got teeth on it. The chain has been machined flat.
Yeah.
And it will cut the shit out of your hand.
Huh.
So, this turned from a head gasket repair into everything. I mean, this is literally everything.
Find a new motor.
There's no part of this bike that isn't going to be. Plus, we have many pieces of metal in that motor that we don't know what the fuck it's been up to, right? So I'm gonna give him the bad news call, because this ain't just a head gasket replacement anymore,
Right.
Despite what he might think.
You're like, you might want to get on eBay and find yourself a motor.
Well, and this is and James brought this up today. He's like, you know what this is, Phil? This is a lesson for everybody that ever says, I'm gonna go buy this vintage bike, and it just needs to have the head gasket replaced. Because if you bought this bike, you might believe, hell, the fucker still runs.
And it looks as good as you said.
And it looks beautiful. And it's got 13,000 miles on there, 14,000 miles on it. You might buy this bike because it is gorgeous. I mean, right down to the exhaust. It's beautiful.
Wow.
But if you buy it, 90% of the shops in America won't do this work.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So knowing how much it's going to cost you to put that fucker together, make it thing, is he better off just getting another motor?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Because to do this job right, to do this job down to the crank, the way it should be, with everything being replaced that needs to be replaced, which is everything shy of the cases, right?
Right.
And also, we still don't know what's happened to the bottom end of the motor. We don't know what's going on down there. But something went down there. Absolutely. There's no way you can have all this metal missing from all those places. Plus, have 20% of the chain. Chain is pretty hard, and it's just running around in there, right? All kinds of things have been roaming around in that motor for quite a while. The shocking thing is it still ran.
It's a Honda.
It's a Honda.
Right. With a brace of oil now.
Right. With totally abrasive oil. I would venture to say the bottom of this motor is going to be squeaky clean.
Andy Nichols, well, these are old-time Honda dealers from way back when up in Michigan, and he was telling me about a guy who brought in a 350, and he was complaining about a rattle. Oh, it sounds like it's got a little piston slap. He brought it in, and it was like, holy fuck, this thing. He's like, oh, I've been riding it. It runs pretty good. He's like, it's only running on one cylinder or whatever. He took it down, and the left cylinder was like a golf ball. Like
it had been hammered down to nothing or burned down to nothing.
Yeah, it was just a ball of what was left of a piston on a wrist, like just
it's doing nothing.
Slamming around inside there.
Microphone.
That's what I'm afraid of with the 175.
Yeah.
Because we were on that ride and I lost the coil.
Yep.
I rode it I don't know, what was it, 20 miles home or something?
Yeah.
On the highway. Oh, you rode it that way when it was only one cylinder.
Yeah, one cylinder. So
So who knows what it's going to be when you open up, because that makes an excellent point, because when you look at the valves on this motor, that one valve just looks like it's been hammered, like you blasted it with a needle gun. It's got 1,000, it's like Snow White's cherry.
Yep.
It's just got a bunch of dents in it, And
you can tell because it's the only part that's not black.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's cleaned up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are those dents?
Did you just say Betty White's cherry?
Snow White.
Snow White.
Oh, I thought you said Betty White's.
What's red and has 7 dents in it?
Jesus Christ.
Snow White's cherry. Chris isn't here, so I had to give you that one.
Thank you.
There you go.
But I don't know whether those dents are metal particles bashing against the bottom of that valve, or are they pre-detonation hitting against the bottom of that valve?
Why not both?
Also good.
Well, you have to imagine the valve timing would have been dancing all,
come on. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
Or it could be a
that
part of the
chain's got an
block.
inch and a half of slack in it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
If it's missing a part of the block, where did that go? In
Exactly.
or out?
Right. In or out. In or out.
It went
Exactly.
somewhere.
So the crazy thing was, the bike is gorgeous. The bike is a beautiful bike. Anybody would be proud to own this bike. It's perfect. I mean, aesthetically, perfect. It's a really good candidate to hang on the wall.
Or make an electric conversion.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this is what it could have come down to. And I really don't know. I have not done a complete 350 motor in so long, I have no idea where to start charging the guy.
Right.
Because, you know, in anticipation, we ordered in a real good gasket kit.
Yeah.
And we knew the bike was been sitting for almost 2 years, so we ordered in a nice carb rebuild kit, you know, because this predates the CV carbs. So we were like, oh, we'll rebuild the carbs for him too while it's in here because it's got to need it, right?
Yeah.
And son of a bitch, like, so I really don't know parts availability, and also sometimes when a motor gets properly fucked, it doesn't come apart real easy.
Right.
So we could get into a situation where we have to do some heroic efforts to get this motor to even split its cases, you know?
Yeah.
So this is a really stay tuned, kids, because this is going to get expensive.
And this is where your love of vintage bikes is either like you're in or you're not, because at some point, at most points, and probably 90% of the time, you're going to be in the bike way more than it's worth. But do you like it? Like, are you stoked about riding?
And this guy loves this bike.
Swap a CB400F motor in there.
There you go.
Yeah, right?
Well, no, I was just thinking like the
those are hanging off the trees.
CB350 Twin is pretty much the starter vintage bike. Like,
you know, our first podcast, Nick, we said that.
Yeah.
In our first podcast, we said, we're just going to say something that we think needs to be said. If you're going to start working on motorcycles, if you're going to decide that you want to get into this as a hobby or any motors and you want to learn how to build a motor, we have always said that the CB350 will teach you skills that exist in every modern motorcycle engine, except for a zero, you know? That's it. But yeah, it's really interesting that that's what that is. But this one's a mess. I mean, this one is a mess.
Boars may have a couple of CB350 motors.
What was that?
I think I saw them on. The internets.
Who's that?
Boars.
Oh,
well, there's also a dude, and you
I'm
know
just
him.
saying, if you could just get a motor that looks like it's fairly well intact, maybe you could just borrow some parts.
There's a guy who comes up in my like friend thing on Facebook all the time, and he comes up and it's like he knows 7 people I know, and it's you and him and you and he has like he was selling something on Marketplace, and he has a whole Honda thing. Yeah. Like he has Honda parts everywhere, and he has about 3 or 4 motors right here.
And I'm sure that that's going to be what happens. Yeah. And of course, John and I played this game a few times. When you get a motor that's not in a bike anymore, you got to wonder, why is it not in a bike anymore?
Right. Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
And nobody ever plucked a perfectly good motor out of a bike, right?
You'd actually be better off, you know, sometimes what this bike needs is another bike.
Yeah. That's exactly
and
right.
if you can buy a bike with no title with a motor in it and put the carbs on it and get it running and ride it and make sure it's a good motor before you swap it out.
Yeah. I got one of those black.
Because you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, I got one of those black, like 1980 Hawk 400s. You know, they're not special, but we have one that was abandoned. And it's a dead man's title. There's really nothing we can do with it right now. And
you're going to put a Suzuki motor in the Honda.
But it is that kind of a thing. But I'm sure we'll come across one because they made 1.19 million of these bikes. We'll come across a motor, and it'll be a better alternative than actually trying to get this motor back from the dead. You know,
it might be interesting. I mean, for what it would take an hour or so to tear that.
Oh, we're going to tear it down because we got to know at this point. We got to know. I did a little bit of a layout back there with Sparky once he plucked that motor day and had it apart quick. But when he came and he's like, "You guys got to come back here and see this," I immediately started, knolling. I immediately started putting things in order and laying them out just to appreciate how all of the damage was confined to just one side of the motor.
Wow.
But epic damage it was. As delightful as that right cylinder was, the left cylinder was equally fucked. Yeah. So, really, really bad. So, I will say that it was running as good as any one cylinder has ever run. And dragging along that parasitic bitch with it, hating life every moment.
If you that's the other thing I was thinking is ordering one of those genuine 400 motors.
Yeah. There you go. That's a power increase too. Fuel injected with a power bump. Nice. I like that.
Well, that's happening. Like, I mean, obviously it's happening with the mini bikes. Yep. But now, what's the name of that brand? The one the one that's halfway decent that makes 90% of all the motors. Like
Lifan or QJ?
Lifan, whatever. A lot of guys are starting to do that.
Could you run this over to Phil?
they're buying vintage bikes with dead motors and they're just slapping Chinese motors into them.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, absolutely nothing. Chris Smith isn't here today, so we can steal a tiny bit of his thunder. We'll steal a little of his thunder, but he's been riding around his brand new J Anus.
Oh, he got it.
He got it. And the only reason he got it was because somebody else put a deposit on it and welched. So he got a phone call from the guys in Indiana, and he proceeded out there lickety-split.
Splickety-lit.
Yeah, and he rode it home.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And you know what?
Well,
I mean,
we had no trailer.
He rode it home, and his brother followed him in the car.
Wow.
And he rode that thing home. All 250 cc's of it. Hardtail. Rigid.
Good for him. That's awesome.
I rode it around.
His coccyx
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Because of what it is and how weird it is. Now, I'm not going to come off my $9,000 to buy one.
Right.
But hot damn tamale, it's a weird bike. And it's going to live on that lift in my front window all winter. I gave him free winter storage.
Wow. Okay.
So we're going to put it up in the front window.
Just to give the eyeballers.
Fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it ends up selling a few bikes for Janice, good for them.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, the guy was cool. He's
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then people, if he tells somebody in Cleveland, oh, that's right there, ClevelandMoto, go look at it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do a dealer network thing.
No.
I'm not going to get my beak wet, but it'll be cool.
Right.
It'll be just a weird conversation piece to have around. Better than a KZ1000,
Yeah, you'll definitely get a different crowd.
Yeah, right?
You might get some 102-year-old dude that's like, I remember the board track racers.
I want my $2 commission on those T-shirts you've been selling.
I also forgot we resuscitated a motorcycle-ish this weekend.
Oh, yeah?
You want to tell them about the moped?
Oh yeah, there was a Tomos Sprint.
Oh,
moped.
Czechoslovakia's finest.
Yeah, it wasn't. There is some sketchy wiring on that thing. And,
high tank or low tank?
It was low tank.
Oh.
Was
It
high
looked like
tank
the
or low
2-speed.
tank?
It was a
tank.
black.
Low tank, yeah.
It was a black version of the old silver 2-speed.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a
low tank.
Low tank, yeah.
Was it I think it was a single.
Because the
speed,
top tanks were
No, it was
Targas.
2-speed.
It was a 2-speed.
Yeah, the
Wow.
top tanks were all Targas.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were tasked.
It was a bounty bike.
Yeah. We were tasked to get it running.
Make it run.
And
it was the challenge.
John saved the day when he suggested. Well, we first checked to see
Let's
if there was
lead up
spark.
to it. So we have a combined 150 years worth of motorcycle wisdom in this
Yes,
room.
you do.
Right.
We have Bruce, who's been around forever.
Everybody.
We have Don Slicker came up from Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
We've got
I can contribute 5 years.
Yeah,
got 5
but
years,
really good
but
5
really
years.
good 5
Yeah,
years.
really
a
good
lot
5
of
years.
energy. He was really
Yeah.
the one who pioneered getting it. He got the ball
That's what we call the motivation.
in court, so to speak.
Right.
But so we checked it for everything. We got the spark. We got this. We got that. We're huffing it up with ether and.
How bad was the frame/gas tank?
Yeah,
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Well, apparently it was full. That's all I know. I couldn't see.
It
how
was
beautiful-
full?
Yeah,
It was full.
It was full.
the gas tank.
Pre-ethanol.
It was full of something.
Little Johnson's furniture polish in there. Yeah.
He said the gas had been put in there last year. Well, as it turns out, we went through everything trying to start it. It should start. It sounded like it had compression. And
Yeah.
I started.
It would cough a little bit.
I was thinking seals or everything. I'm like, put your hand over the carb. It's
Yes.
sucking it all.
Yeah, right.
Are you getting anything? And he's like, nah, not too much and
Yeah.
everything. And then I just happened to be like, you know what? Pull the baffle out of it.
Yes. Good
Pull
move.
the baffle out.
Yep.
And Nick pulled the baffle out in one kick.
Really? Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And
found the baffle was all plugged
And the
up.
thing is like when I was 14, I was a pretty avid moped rider. Mm-hmm. You had to clean the fucking baffle.
Oh, yeah.
Like at once a month, or that shit wouldn't work. So it's like you forget. Like that's something everybody should have thought of. But
In the owner's manual of the Vespa Grande moped, it says decoke.
Decoke it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it tells you how to decoke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this was so much as coked as rusted.
Yeah,
It was probably rusted.
Yeah.
All the holes were closed up.
Yeah.
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 if you look, the Italian version's like when you hit the hooker and take her drugs, make sure you hide it. So when you're decoking it, it's fine.
Yeah.
I decoked that hooker. That's it. Totally decoked her. Yep. Left her
This
with
Coke
nothing.
that actually had Coke in it.
Right. Oh, that's fucking great, man. I'm glad you guys
So we
resurrected
won
a
the
motor.
basket, though. There was a gift basket for getting it running.
Right?
Various cheeses, 2 bottles of wine. I mean, holy shit.
That's a really good gift
He
basket.
bought the bike for $100. I think there was $100 worth of shit in the
I would
basket.
say, yeah.
Yeah, we gave a guy a T-shirt because he started a BSA once. That was the hardest
probably
fought
way
T-shirt in history. That took like 47 people to win that T-shirt. Yeah. But the guy who did it, he knew exactly what to do. He'd watched 46 other people fuck themselves into a corner, and then he walked up and went, "What do I win?" I was like, "This T-shirt and a beer." And he was like, "All right." So he goes over and he's a BSA guy though.
Yeah.
He immediately knew. He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Everyone out here was like kind of stabbing around it, but the points are different than you think they are." And that dude, remember that cat? That cat came up and started that bike like it was his bike.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he fiddled with it for about, he got his diddling fingers out. He diddled it for about 3 minutes. And I think it took 2 good kicks.
Wow.
And it fired and it ran, oh, beautiful. I was like, here's your T-shirt, here's your beer, and would you like to buy a BSA?
It's weird. Like when you're at a motorcycle show or something, and there's like an older dude that's weird.
Yeah.
And he's got some weird bike, and he's only had one bike for like 45 years. That's the dude that you want to talk to.
He's usually the guy in a Suzuki T500.
right. And he's the guy you want to talk to because
Yeah.
he'll tell you like, yeah, don't fuck with that. Just do this.
Yeah, that's always a big fucking help to have. And having a guy like that around is solid gold.
But we split the gift basket.
You did.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was all.
That's awesome, man. I love that there was a gift basket bounty.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Bruce lays it out.
He does a great job.
Oh yeah.
He really does a great
It was
job.
the perfect weather this year.
Yeah,
It was-
you guys nailed it on the weather. Yeah.
Fell on a 70-degree day or a couple days.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Cinch was
absolutely-
almost a moving target. They were
What's that?
he took the YZ80 for a ride.
Smith did.
No, Cinch.
Oh, you.
And I forgot.
You forgot the range was hot?
I was so excited about the power band.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, I forgot that there were people shooting. And I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
No, Cinch.
And so I'm like, oh yeah.
Cease fire. I'd be like, here's your high-speed mover.
I mean, I wasn't there. I was over here. But
Doesn't
still,
matter,
yeah,
dude.
I know.
Doesn't
I
matter.
know.
Yep. Doesn't matter.
was
Here,
last
wear
night.
these antlers.
Well, and the two guys, Clyde and Clyde, or whatever their names were, they probably would have shot just
Daryl
because it
and
was
Daryl.
a chance. They were like,
Yeah.
do it.
They said we could shoot anything.
A liberal.
Yeah.
Never shot a real live human.
Motherfucker smells like patchouli and weed. That's fair game. We're going to shoot him until we get a count on the vote. That's it. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have a dangling Chad.
So I rode my new bike out there, which I love.
Yeah.
And then we rode the 2-strokes and the things and big things and small things. And Bruce has that.
runners and 3-wheelers.
What is that? What is that big thing that?
The trike.
No, the
Oh, the
2-wheel.
hell, Super Bronc.
The
Oh,
Super
Bronc,
Bronc,
yeah, Super
which
Bronc,
is
yeah.
like you
Yeah.
just kind of generally go in a direction.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of cruise
Right.
around. It's like a couch.
Yeah.
But still, to this day, and it just reinforces my original statement many years ago that the Trail 70
Yeah.
and 90, whatever, is still the best fucking
Best bike in the world.
ever made.
Yeah.
I still love riding your
Yeah.
Trail 70. It is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
There's something about it. This makes me feel like I'm 14. And
Because that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Because when they designed those bikes, what you don't know is that whole Pizzagate thing.
Yeah.
They stole that from Honda. Honda in the 60s had young, excited children that they would put on a CT70 or Trail 70, and they'd put a young, excited child on a Trail 70. They let them run around for a while. And when they would come in, they drain their blood out.
adrenochrome. Yeah.
Yeah, they just drain their blood out, and that would go into every Trail 70 from that point on.
Makes
so they
sense.
all had the spirit of happiness in them.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's what's in the handlebars.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's
Still
so
the
good.
best.
Oh, so
Well,
fucking great.
the thing I love about the Trail 90, and now that I own 2 of them,
It's that happens. Nick,
I
that happens.
look back in like my the history of the texts that I've been sending out, and it's like I bought that first CT90 in like August.
Yeah.
And now I have 2 of them.
Yep.
And,
You got bit hard.
Yeah.
We did that with Trail 70s one year. One year, I think we ended up going to Mid-Ohio with a dozen Trail 70s.
Yeah.
And because I started with 3 that we just had here at the shop that had just come in and people abandoned them or whatever. And we made the statement, we're like, you know, we're going to do trail 70s this year at Mid-Ohio. I think the time's right. And within a month, I got 9 more trail 70s. and, you know, we're bringing them out of basements and shit like that. You know,
Bring out your dead.
Oh, it was funny because the one was perfect, but every moving part on it was seized.
Oh.
So the chain was seized. The chain was rusted, seized. So like you couldn't roll the bike an inch because the chain was a fixed item, and it might as well have been welded like art. And that thing was like, okay, well, if we want to move it, if we want to roll it, we have to get the bolt cutters out and cut the chain. And that thing sold like that.
For like $1,000.
It was.
And the guys came back later.
Bought a chain
up a Bruce for $50.
I know.
Oh my God.
Oh, believe me, man.
And they were riding around.
They were thrilled. They were coming back asking if we had any more.
Sapphire blue.
Yeah, sapphire blue in beautiful shape too. And again, that was the year where we were like, I can't believe we sold a dozen Trail 70s for no less than $1,000 a pop.
I love it. It's like, for me, it's like what I imagined my moped was in middle school.
In middle school.
Yeah.
It is just the best. I mean, those bikes, and that's why we're kind of excited about the CT 125, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
like the new Huntsman thing, that's that whole thing. It's that love packaged again, more blood of young children
With fuel injection.
With fuel injection. So it's like, all right, they're just blood of today's modern youth.
Yeah, but I think they're still getting it from the same children.
I think they are. Yeah, they're just 80 now.
Nah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The blood's a little thinner. Yeah.
As the monkey bike, we got Steve, and the blood's got about 40, 50 years older.
Yes, it has. Right, and the seat's gotten comfier.
Yeah,
and the tires have gotten a little bigger.
It's 10W40 blood.
It is 10W40 blood now. It's not just 2-stroke. Yeah. It's a very cool thing any way you slice it. That's just fucking great, man. That's the best part of motorcycling right there. Yeah. That's it. Had a guy come by and try to buy the Husqvarna the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was great. He wants to do the Transamerica Trail.
Nice.
And he said specifically, I do not want a fuel injected bike. I want a bike with a carburetor.
Yeah, because you can fix them anywhere.
I want an analog bike, and I showed him the Husqvarna that I got from Steve, and the guy's like, Jesus, this is pretty much it. And I'm like, yeah, and it costs less than like a Kimco 250,
Right.
Giddy up, go have fun. And so we'll see if he comes back or whatever, It's cool. But
that sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome. It's just like, that's just a great way, as far as I'm concerned. That's a great thing to buy. Been riding the piss out of the Versus. God, I love that bike. Still love that bike. Made the mistake though, the other day, wanted to come in and do some bike riding, so I put Merritt on the back of the Versus, and my wife's not a big woman.
No.
She's not big, she's fit, and don't know what she weighs, but somewhere in the neighborhood 11 stone probably. And had her on the back and just totally forgot that certain bikes you ride differently when you have a passenger. And I always ride the Versus the exact same way. We're going to go have fun. Like, it's a 650. What is it going to do? Right? It's not like a multi-strada where if I try to do that kind of shit, I'm going to die. Mm-hmm. So I put Merritt on the back. The luggage, we got a drone. Yay. Wow. So
blow the leaves away from the door.
It's a leaf blower. So put Dr. Waters on the back of the Versus, and then just pull out the driveway, and then there we go. Gonna overheat the drone. I love that. We end up pulling out the driveway, and as soon as I got to Lake Road and gave it some beans, the Versus put on a wheelie demonstration.
Oh boy.
Because it's like having the wheelie device. So my wife all she is a wheelie device for the back of the Versus. So first gear, she was like, stop being an asshole. And I was like, that was an honest, I did not plan for that. Yep. There's no traction control on that bike. There's ABS, no traction control. That's just because I'm not used to having you back there. But that turns into, so you're saying I'm fat. So then second gear, another wheelie. And I was like, can we do a wheelie in third gear? And we did. We did a wheelie in third gear.
Oh my God.
So third gear wheelie in a Versus 650, just because you had the right payload. The location of the weight transfer. Yeah, weight transfer. Yeah. It was so much fun. But it was cool. We did a little bit of riding around, and when we gotten off the freeway, a couple of guys on Harley Davidsons had seen, you get excited when you see other bikes. And so they had, we'd come upon them, and we were going, 80-ish, whatever. And so when we came upon them, they looked over and saw this green motorcycle, and they were like, ego got kicked in, and they had to ego. So they egoed up to about 90, and then we just egoed right on past them on a 650, 2 up, with all the bags, bags, handguards, everything. So we went blast just right by him, and then we kind of put enough distance between them to prove a point. But then our exit came up, and so we jumped off the exit, and it's like one of those perfect extreme right-handers that tightens up at the end, a good off-ramp, cloverleaf style. And my wife was starting to give me the angry hands of death, where she's like, I'm going to find the meat between your ribs. And she did. And I was like, shit, man, when did my wife become a fucking logger? Like, when did she get these claws? And yeah, it hurt a little bit. But I did a complete, I did the Del Vecchio trained proper trail braking, 2 up from 100 miles an hour into a hard right-hand turn, and just used all the tires. Yeah. It was so cool. It was so cool. I love the Versys 650. I'm absolutely in love with that motorcycle.
That seems like a good motorcycle.
And I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
So that means I have too many. Somebody come and buy these bikes. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what my FJ09 turned into. It's that.
Yep.
It's like, it's such a different experience. It's smoother, and it's for where we have to ride.
Yeah.
These type of bikes, the Versys,
they're
the
wonderful.
FJ09s.
Oh, they're so nice. In my backyard, I got my driveway all filled up with, we're moving the fun cars into the warehouse and kind of getting things ready for the fluid film party.
Yeah.
And so my driveway's all jammed up. So that means I had to go through my neighbor's landscaping to get out of my backyard. Versys for the win. Nice. No problem. Just right between his rose bushes, over by his, arborvitaes and everything, and just, great, and street tires, and it just loves it.
That's the game I'm going to be playing this weekend, packing 2 garages into 1.
Yes, that's the game. No daylight between anything. Everything just buttoned up tight. Yeah.
Is it time for the big
absolutely
spliff?
Fan of that. What's that?
Is it time for the big spliff?
Yeah. Hold on, let me get this dude back. I'm down at Cam's corner.
Where the hell is your airplane? You're way down in Cam's corner.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Oh man. You're going to have to get FAA.
He went down to
What just
Smedley's.
buzzed by me?
That was the drone.
It's already down there?
Oh, yeah, it's coming back now.
You remember there's an airport over there?
Yeah, no, I'm not going home.
They're funny about that.
You said something about some Patreon listener feedback.
Yes, we have some Patreon listener feedback. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was really...
Oh, you passed us.
Oh, did he fly by?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the neighborhood. I can't hear the drone, so I don't know where the fuck it is.
I can just barely see it. If I was just walking around, I would not notice this drone.
No, and that's the thing is, when they're close, I always tease, I didn't know the drone was there. I'm like, you didn't hear that? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I heard it go by the first time.
No, see, it's over there. It's all mad, and it's like,
It's all mad.
See if you can blow on the fire again. That's cool.
It is very cool.
That's right.
in New York, it almost burned down. We're gonna have to throw this thing in the fire, but I wanted to get it on film, so that was the whole point.
Throw it in the fire, don't you dare! It's way up there. Jesus Christ! Okay,
Nobody wants the big spliff thrown in the fire.
It's up there at 80 feet or so, maybe 50 feet. Oh, I can hear it. Okay, so when you guys are ready, we're gonna read you the Patreon.
When do you want me to throw? You want me to throw that in,
hate
Steve?
mail.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get this set up.
Okay.
I want to see this on video.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're actually filming important things right
He's
now.
talking about
trying to
burning a
do.
big chunk of cardboard.
Yeah.
Oh.
An actual big split.
Just to make a woof.
No.
Yeah, because it'd be woof.
Oh, an actual big spliff.
Did you see that bag?
Oh, yeah.
That chunk of cardboard.
I didn't.
Okay.
All right, hit it, dude. It's on. 1 bag of plant material.
Green vegetative material.
Oh, so this is a DEA.
This is the DEA fire. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
Can't smell it yet.
No.
Yeah. All right. Podcast could get pretty weird after this. Yeah.
Inagata Devitto, baby.
How much do you think that is? That under a pound?
Love you,
That's
baby.
probably a pound and a half to 2 pounds.
Pound and a half. Yeah. Pound and a half. Oh, now I can smell it. It's official.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah. That's official.
It's too hot though. All the smoke is going 50
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn, that's weed. Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's gone. going.
Yeah.
Our fire was too hot.
Oh, man. Yeah, we should. Got to work the carburetor a little on that one. Yeah, right. Quick, pour some water in the bottom.
Hot boxed it,
Right.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that's for real. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh, your drone is gonna get high.
yeah.
Just get yourself.
Why'd your drone get so slow? Yeah. Oh, the drone is definitely kicking the smoke over here. Oh, that's hot.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish the podcasters could smell this right
Oh, I
now.
smell it now.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Oh god, it's like a Willie Nelson concert. Oh my Jesus.
Take that, fire! Oh,
Red light, red light, red light.
He's mad now.
Is that
Yeah.
what that means?
I don't know, but he's not happy.
Yeah, well, it's sucking. It's just literally getting 1,200 degrees of flames right at its ass. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, can you grab that dude for me?
Yeah. There you go.
It'll come back.
Oh, he's gonna land it right in John's fingers.
There you go.
Oh wow, what a pilot!
There you go. Thank you, sir.
What a primate. Well, that is
What
definitely
was this feedback?
that is definitely a giant bag of
Is
weed.
it warm?
Yeah,
Oh, no, is it?
It's not that
No,
warm.
okay, good.
It's fine.
it's air cooled. And apparently, it runs on 8% weed. So there you have it. Yeah,
I just wanted to film that. That seemed
yeah,
like it was
two-stroke a
kinda
bowl. The that was a very strong odor, of a certain vegetable material that one might assume would be a cannabis product.
Sage. That's like-
Sage, that's what that was.
Sage, yeah,
Jesus
definitely.
Christ, I'm on fire.
It's actually hemp, Phil.
Oh,
It is just hemp. It's
Hemp
just
is
burning some
legal
rope.
in-
Yeah,
yeah, right.
that's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
So guys, Earl Johnson sent you a message.
Earl, good old Earl.
Earl! Hello, all. Have to admit, I was quite disappointed
So were we. That's the whole point.
with episode 300. It took longer than usual to come up on my feed, so I thought this one's going to be epic.
Yeah. Well, we
Sadly,
You were
no.
wrong.
Wait, before you even get into it, so
Yeah.
this dude
Oh,
and
damn,
everybody
that's hitting
else
hard
knows.
now.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
It's settled in.
It did settle in.
But so this guy needs to know.
Yeah.
The reason it took longer is how many we were trying to plan so much
Right.
shit.
We didn't, it wasn't like we had one in the can, we just didn't drop it.
Right.
It was just like we were looking for the right opportunity to be able to do something fun without COVID.
Right.
Or without dying from COVID.
Or like
Right.
also weather. It happened to snow that week.
It did.
And, like it was
Yeah.
horrible.
We had everything was lined up to not be good for us.
Right.
We didn't want it to be a Zoom cast.
Right.
No.
And we didn't
Right.
want 300 to be a Zoomcast. That was definitely not where we wanted to be. And so, so he said, this one's going to be epic, but no, it isn't. So
Right.
you're right, Earl. You're right.
In fact, I think the description on the video says exactly
Well, I
that.
believe we didn't gild the lily. I think
No,
we made it
yeah.
very clear that we were dissatisfied with the results.
Right,
Now,
right.
301 last week. I'm going to drop that tomorrow.
That was good. It was fun.
Did you put the video up yet?
Yeah, the video
Okay,
went
good.
up
Video's
today.
up.
I mean,
Excellent.
that could always be 299.5.
No, I think we keep it honest. Look, if we lay a turd in the pool, we're going to admit we laid a turd in the pool. That's all there is to it.
And it can
And it
still
was
be
an
fun.
epic turn.
It was an epic turd.
And it can still be fun to kick around with a flipper or something, you know?
I do also like that.
There
I
was
do
a lot of good scooter information in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and so to that point, back to Earl.
Okay.
Back to Earl pointing out our weaknesses. Thanks, Earl. Okay, but fear not, I did garner some very useful info during your scooter tutorial. Hey, that makes one of you, right? So for Earl, that 300 was for you, Earl.
Yeah.
That scooter TED Talk, Phil and John's scooter TED Talk.
We're not going to have another Earl talk. I mean, Earl's been talked about.
Well, that was but this is Earl. So
Oh.
so this is Earl. This is not. But anyway. But fear not, I did garner some very useful info during your scooter tutorial. I recently acquired a 2005 Vespa PX150 with a seized piston for the princely sum of $500 with a title.
Nice.
All
That's
day.
fucking well played.
All day.
Good job all day long.
Nice one, Earl.
Yes, nice one. I believe I would be better off with a complete top end rebuild using a Melosi 180cc kit and, of course, new crankshaft seals. Would you recommend a carb upgrade for this? Okay, we're not going to do a 20-minute deep dive. We're just going to say it real simple. Yes. So if you're going to take what would be a 125 or a 150 top end and you're going to increase it to something like a 200 top end, considerably bigger, it wouldn't kill you to do a funky 26 mil. So you're still using the design of the Delorto downdraft carburetor, but
Oh yeah.
there is no hospital that way.
That's 11.
Oh, they're going to get one. Okay. So,
You don't think this is COVID related, do you?
no, they don't send ambulances for COVID.
Okay.
I mean, I don't guess, but anyway.
Yep.
But anyway, when you do that, I'm not going to say that you need to upgrade to a 30 millimeter Mikuni carburetor, which is going to involve a fuel pump and all these other things.
Yeah.
Just get a nice, higher flowing standard Delorto SI style carb. So they do those now up to 26 millimeters, which is significantly better than the original. And Hot Rod Al does a really nice one that has a nice vortex intake that's really, really nice. So Venturi top end, they're really good. They work excellent. So I would recommend a carb upgrade for this.
What was the biggest stock carb at 24?
So the 24G would have been the biggest stock carb, and believe it or not, they actually used those 24Gs on 125cc Vespa T5s. And the T5s had 5 ports, hence the T5. And they did get a big fat carb.
Yep.
Do you want a 24 millimeter flat side, brand new?
Is it a downdraft stock?
No, it's a
Side draft.
side draft.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you had. No, never mind. I thought you had a thing.
I don't have a thing.
Yeah. So anyway, he says, thanks for the laughs and the grins, Earl in Mississippi. The B sign. So yeah, Earl, I mean, we know that 300 was a shit show. I mean, we know that.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too spiteful or hateful. Just literally that kind of a thing. They can't all be winners, and sometimes you get what you pay for.
But I'm just saying, man, in the description of the video, it says we hated it.
Yeah,
in the beginning of it, within the first 2 minutes, we have a Star Wars like thing, explosions in the background saying that we apologize.
Honestly, that in itself was worth it.
The intro alone, the intro work that Steve did makes the whole podcast.
Yeah.
So don't listen to that one on Buzzsprout. Just watch
the
watch
intro.
that one on YouTube because
Yeah.
the intro's so solid. The dancing McElfresh,
I
and
tried
Oscar.
to look at that today. I
It's
couldn't get to
really
it.
good.
I was too busy.
The
I don't remember that episode.
That's because you turned your heater on and you were out, dude.
yeah, he did. Woohoo! Yeah, I got my glove. I'll put this back in the fire.
So we're just having fire jumping out at us, It was trying to be interviewed. It was going toward a microphone. It was like
I had a CB350.
the wood is so high it can't fucking stay in the fire anymore.
Yeah, exactly. All of that shit smells like weed now. Yeah, it is so true. And then again, Kevin is nice enough to say, he's in Kansas City. He says, happy 300th episode, you fucks. Been fun listening to you all, and fuck the watermark photo guy. So, people who listen to the podcast will absolutely get that. Because, if you're critical of
I
us.
like the watermark photo.
James, John's like, yeah, bring that shit on.
Who is that?
What's the
the
modern?
guy who sent the pictures of the young ladies.
Oh, gotcha.
Were they young though?
Well, I don't think the one was. The last one I don't think was young.
No, John did forensic science on him and found an armpit hair that was gray.
Sat through every disgusting minute of this video twice. And, oh, boy. Kurt,
And it was suggested by some people that maybe that she wasn't a she at all. But I thought
no, that's solid.
that
Kurt,
would have been a good one.
Yeah, that would have been all right.
Really good looking tranny.
Yeah.
well, hey. Kurt from Massachusetts says, I had a Vetter. We were talking about Vetters,
Oh, yeah.
Vetter fairings. And Kurt says, I had a Vetter full fairing on a Bridgestone GTX 350. This was pre-Windjammer in the late 60s. So really early Vetter, right?
That took up all his front suspension.
I didn't think it was excessively heavy, but the brackets did flex quite a bit at high speeds, which caused a very funny sensation. Otherwise, I loved it. It spoiled me, and to this day, I can't own a naked bike.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is
Get it? I totally get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is
And
cool,
the really cool thing about Vetter fairings is that they have a really good website going back through the history of them.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
like the early ones were called Phantoms or something like
very
that.
cool,
And,
man.
The
Yeah.
Bridgestone is notable for the fact that it pressure fed oil through the crankshaft and up through the connecting rod.
Huh.
And it had
Oh, really?
oil circuit through
It had an oil journal through the crank.
through the crank for the main bearing. for the
That's
end
cool.
bearing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is very cool. Yeah, I dig that. That's extremely cool.
Came out the ends of the wristbands.
Yeah, which is brilliant. Yeah, I mean that's super cool. I dig it. I
Steve,
totally
it
dig
looks like you're burning a guitar neck. Like the little tuners are sticking out of the side. Like
So one of our podcast listeners also wrote, and this is pretty good. What's the maximum cruise RPM on a KLR 650 before it eats oil? Oh, actually, this was the guy that was here. He stopped by.
super cool guy.
Can't remember his name, but he's from Jersey. All right.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember his name at the moment. Was he a? He wasn't a Chris, was he? No.
No, hold on.
He was more interesting than that. But anyway, he said, what's the max cruise speed, a cruise RPM on a KLR 650 before it eats oil? I do not know.
I don't know if the issue is eating oil rather than throwing oil out of the breather.
That's what it is. It's going to be blowing the oil out of the breather and sneaking some past the rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue. I don't know what the RPM on that's going to be, but anyway.
Jake Vandervoort.
That was Vandervoort, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And here you go.
That's 12. That is a record. That is 12.
That is a lot. Okay, so then...
I would say it's definitely not a 90 mile an hour all day long bike.
Well, do you remember that we also talked to him about the fact that he's got a Super Cub? Right. So he's got a Super Cub, and we talked about doing a TPS reset. Okay, so you get a couple of thousand miles on his Super Cub. And this is a good tip because, all of our Super Cub people, the fuel-injected modern Super Cub people, so we did tell him to do a TPS reset, and we told him how to do it. And he says, TPS reset on the Cub. Throttle response is much faster, power curve is better, and pulling a 12% grade in third gear now versus had to go into second gear before on a road that he uses all the time.
Nice.
He said absolutely was worth doing, and he thanks for the advice.
Well, and also the more miles you get, that bike probably about 4,000 will start to get a little bit better too.
Yeah, I think so too. That bike's going to break in really, really well. He said check out the Shinko Big Blocks. If you get another KLR, rides like glass and can still scrape the pegs. And it's still off-road except for sand. Sand can go fuck itself. Yes, I totally fucking agree. I concur on all levels. We had a gentleman come by here the other day with a big fat Ducati Multistrada on Shinko Big Blocks.
Wow.
And I asked the guy, I was like, wow, 150 horsepower on Shinko Big Blocks. How you loving that? He goes, it's great. They're cheap. And I was like, yeah, I'm funny because I swear by the TKC 80s, and he's like, TKC 80s are way too expensive.
Yeah, the Shinkos are not bad, but so all right. So you said sand can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
So what does sand get in its crotch?
What does sand get in its crotch? Yep.
Sorry.
Very good. That's totally true. I thought that was fun. So those are our emails, our contact comments and contacts from our Patreon supporters. That means that just for $10 a month, it's equal to the cheeseburger you can't buy at your local restaurant anymore.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Like anything that anybody does is appreciated.
Right.
We will never do what Google is doing, where we'll give you this for free, and then all of a sudden, next year on June 21st, they're like, you have to pay for Google Photos.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys got that memo.
Don't know
or
about
not.
that. Really?
Yeah. So they're like, you can keep what you have, but anything after June 21st of 2021, paying for it.
Well, there you go.
So we will never do that to you.
Yeah.
ClevelandMoto will never do that to you.
Well,
until
ClevelandMoto,
we find that
the first dose is free.
profitable.
That's it.
We might someday screw you.
Right.
but
Exactly.
Not right now.
So before we leave tonight, guys, make sure, don't let me forget, I have jackets.
We would like to screw you, but we...
So everybody here tonight can get a jacket. I got us some jackets. But we're gonna do some sizing things.
Is it like satin?
It is a satin jacket. It
Nice.
says Corvette and I love Cam.
Hell yeah.
It comes in with a built-in mullet. The mullet's built into the jacket.
I support playing mullet hood.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And so, but what we're gonna do is once we get everybody's sizes sorted out, then we're gonna go ahead and have James' mom embroider them.
Wow.
So you can have whatever you want embroidered on the front, but the back's going to say Cleveland Moto Podcast.
John, what's my new name?
Wild Boys.
Wild Boy.
Wild Boys.
Never lose control.
That's going to get a lot of traction in Santa Cruz.
I'm just worried about that, getting it embroidered is not going to be what we want. It's just going to be a bunch of little dicks all over the
Well, it could be, because James is going to be involved. So, yeah.
dick, asshole.
You may end up with a subliminal dick unicorn that only James can see. That only shows up in certain light.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, how funny would that be? Black light embroidery.
That's a really good idea. Very subtle. I think the guy just walked by. I'm pretty sure that's a cock on him. He got a giant dick on his back. No, that's an eagle.
And then you put a head on and it's got the spurt coming off the top.
Kind of cocky.
Well, these are nice. These are nice jackets. They got a hood on them and they're waterproof.
yeah.
So
I got a boner.
It's a good jacket to put under other jackets too. And so anyway, so I bought a flock of them, but the sizing was weird, so we're gonna have to try them on. So fashion shoot or photo shoot or
nice.
fashion show after the podcast.
Shop news. So I'm asking you.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not saying
Fire
I have
away.
any.
Right.
But so the holiday season, it's going to be weird this year.
It's going to be weird this year.
But it is coming.
Yep.
So
it is coming.
have you had people contacting you about, hey?
We have had a couple of people buy Christmas presents already because we're storing them for free.
Right.
Because we're giving you free winter storage all
Radio
fucking year.
stations already playing our only Christmas music.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck. I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't want to be that guy of that guys, but realistically, let Thanksgiving happen.
Right. My Christmas tree does not go up until after Thanksgiving, and then it stays up until June.
The lights go on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
You can't turn your lights
The
on until after
the mansions on
Thanksgiving.
Lake Road that pay people to put Christmas lights up for them. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Because they had their Christmas lights up before Halloween.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're paying people to install them. And those guys got out there and like, that's your job. What do? I install Christmas lights.
Yep.
You know, on $1 million mansions on Lake Road.
Dude, you'd be surprised. So
$1 million.
Mike,
$10 million.
that came to the podcast
Yeah.
quite a few
Right.
times. He, before he got hurt, he was a handyman.
He's a contractor, yeah.
A contractor, but he did like everything. And he got hooked up with all the people in Shaker Heights
Yeah.
out by me with the big mansions out there.
Oh, yeah.
He would have people call him, hey, we're in like Indonesia. We have 9 packages for our kids showing up for Christmas. Can you put them together?
Oh,
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Build their Christmas toys for them.
$4,000 and he goes and builds, and they're not, it's not like a little thing. It's like a car bed,
Yeah,
or, some big ass thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, once
Which is the
you
same,
you
yeah.
get into that cycle,
Yeah.
and they, once they find somebody that's not going to rob them,
Yep.
then your name goes around.
I got an ad offering, telling me I could earn extra income assembling IKEA furniture for people.
Oh, there you go.
Was that on Tackle?
Is that tackle?
No, seriously.
I believe
there's a thing. So like a while.
Wait a second. Now hold on a second. No. I know Grindr exists, so you can't fool me totally. If there's a thing called tackle and it's not just dudes' dicks, I'm gonna be angry.
It is Tackle.
Tackle.
It was a handyman service where you
Yeah,
go
it's a
in.
handyman, all right.
You go in and you put your skills.
Handyman
They send you a questionnaire.
It's a handyman
They
service.
send you a questionnaire where you fill it out. It's kind of sneaky. Like there's questions where you actually have to know shit.
Okay.
And so like you answer the questions like, okay, you are a certified whatever.
Oh, just by answering the question right on tackle.
Yeah.
You're a tackler.
I don't know if I want to be a handy man on tackle.
Right.
Fuck, man. You got to be kidding me, right?
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm
No,
not
you
kidding
just
at all.
get, like you literally show up somewhere and they put a ball in your mouth and a gimp mask
But it was
on you.
everything. And it was like, it would pop up and be like, there is a grass cutting job within 5 miles of you. If you can do it in the next 2 hours, they'll pay $50.
And they ask you really, really good questions like how many cue balls can you hold in your butt?
Yeah.
Right?
Is your nickname Wood?
I'm gonna get some vice grip motherfuckers to get medieval on this guy's ass. Yeah, right? Come on. Man.
TAKL.
It's called tackle?
TAKL.
TAKL.
Yeah.
And it's not Grinder.
No.
It's not part of Grinder.
TAKL.
I believe that's it. TAKL.
Oh, and it's not, I mean, because it sounds to me like it's just.
home services on demand. The top thing is Thumbtack.
I know
There's
it's
an
homo
easier
services
way
on demand.
to hire.
It's got to be.
No, it's
for
not.
handyman, but no, I see
there's a tackle.
Tackle, yeah,
Man.
it's spelled funny. Yep.
I can tackle this.
Yeah, tackle.
Gotcha.
Right. You can tackle. Right.
But you're
We'll
right.
tackle
Like,
that.
And there's one for like proper leather dudes. It's called block and tackle.
Oh
well, no, but you
as
know
of March 18th, 2020,
bondage
Tackle
site.
has suspended operations until further notice.
Yeah, you know
because
why?
of COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know, what'd be kind of funny.
Sure, it's COVID.
You might be onto something, dude. So like,
Yeah.
you know how like smart comedians and stuff are putting their specials on Pornhub because it's like free to do and whatever.
It's free.
I wonder if like
Yeah.
Grindr got bored, so people are using Tackle for like odd jobs.
Hey, look, where can I find a bunch of men with a lot of experience with tools?
like
Grinder.
Big burly butch dudes, you know? Like,
right. Yeah. I need you to come over to my house and do some exotic stuff for me. Like
they
what?
They can do some woodworking.
I was
trim
gonna
the
say-
hedges.
Like
Show
what?
me.
My back door.
Trim the hedges. My
Show
back
me your
door's a little
brother's
rusty.
friend.
It's a little loose.
My back door's too tight. I need to loosen that up. Yeah. I got this stool I need you to push in.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck that, man. No way. I said this was going to be a good podcast. 302, man.
I got a new ring and it won't connect. I'm trying to figure it out.
You know, I think the problem is your docking.
Gotcha.
You need better docking. Yeah.
Tube touching.
That pipes need clean.
What is that
pipes need
from?
clean.
What is tube touching from?
Touching the tubes?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But it sounds like a Pauly Shore things almost. But yeah, we're not bringing Porch Monkey back or any of that stuff. We're not going to get into the Kevin Smith collection at all.
No.
So I don't for the life of me. Where were we? Where's this motorcycle podcast again?
I don't know.
I have
Fucking in the
absolutely
weeds
no
again.
idea.
What happened?
The fire has
And
to
it ain't
be.
even a booze. We're not even drinking liquor tonight at all.
No, but we just had a fire of a pound a week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We burned a pound of weed.
That'll do
Okay,
it.
podcast listeners.
That will do it.
For the record, I was wondering why. I was literally sitting here wondering why I couldn't feel my mouth. I'm like, we do still have pizza left, right?
Right, yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God. Oh yeah. As soon as that mic turns off, it's pizza time, boys and girls. I was like, how can I be drinking?
It could be wood-fired pizza.
It could be.
Oh, yeah.
How could I be drinking Natty Light again? The beer that keeps on giving.
There you go.
John found more of these. He had a time machine.
Oh, yeah.
He brought more Natty Light tall boys.
Well, somehow
They're still
bodegas.
stocking 'em.
Yeah, bodegas have those all year round.
I feel like it's going to happen all winter.
I think you're right. Yeah. That is it.
But that's a sensible beverage to have at a podcast night, you know, because it's not 109%.
No. It's not the brown liquor podcast.
No. Oh, dude, those are fun podcasts, but the
God,
next
thank
day
God damn Kromke's not here. Oh, jeez.
Thank God. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, my Fridays do better without the brown liquor podcast. Though.
Yeah,
that
well,
was a rough one.
Steve was here the other night and we did some video shit. And of course, I was like, I better have a drink.
Yeah.
Just to loosen up a little bit. And so I nipped into Dan Kromke's Johnny Drum. Ooh. And I was like, yeah, that guy's keeping there. Pour 5 or 6 fingers of Johnny Drum in there. And that is so good. I mean, that is truly delicious.
You were so. I mean, I guess we could talk about it a little bit.
We can talk about it a tiny bit. I don't think we need to. Yeah,
no, crazy. But
just to let people know the concept.
So basically, Phil's been doing this shop for 20 years, and he's been in the world of scooters and motorcycles. And as you can imagine, he probably has a few stories. So we're documenting some of these stories, and we're putting them out as Moto stories. The first episode will be out in about a week and a half, and we're just going to continue one a week for as long as it goes.
As long as it stays fun.
And I can say the first day of shooting, I was laughing so hard I think I peed a little several times. So I mean, it's pretty good stuff. Not bad.
Well, and it's fun too because Fernando came out.
Yeah,
and he set up the lighting. Like this is the first time ever I've seen what lighting looks like legit, proper, paid for lighting. And the amount of effort that was put into getting the color temperature correct.
Yeah, man.
It's hilarious. I mean, it's fucking lost on me. Not for anything.
But did it look good?
It fucking looked good.
It looked pretty good. It did look pretty goddamn good. There's no doubt about it. It was way better than I could ever do. Ever on my own.
It took Phil from a 9.7 to like an 11.2.
Yeah.
Would hit
so bad. But it was fun. It was we had a good time doing it too because it's just
Well, you're telling basically you're at a scooter rally talking to hopefully a few thousand people. I mean, pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was a lot of fun, and I mean the thing that's fun about it too is that I don't necessarily want to sit and tell people history stories like, hey, back in 18 giggity fuckity, whatever, and this is an opportunity to kind of go, that thing sounds like a pod racer.
Was that a Honda Odyssey?
I think it was a Grand
I think it
Caravan.
was the first.
What the hell?
I've never seen that jacked up of a Honda Odyssey. Like that is.
Hey,
truly
Johnny, do you want me to drop you off at school? No, Mom, I'll walk.
I'll fucking walk, man.
Oh, this is good. Right here.
Yep, that is it. I just texted you guys over a picture of me in my first shop So this would have been 2001, maybe. Yeah. And Tim Hartnett is there, and Carol Hartnett's there, and I'm trying desperately to sell them a Vespa P200. And when you see the hair on your boy, it's pretty spectacular. And those aren't Z Cavaricis, but I think they are acid washed. Yeah. Those are it. And I was definitely a shirt tucker. Yeah, those were the days, man. What is that?
That's you.
Oh, those are the stills. Oh my God. Yeah, that is good lighting. Shit, that's my glamour shots. So, but I think it's very funny because you said watch Vin Wiki. Yeah. And so I'm watching Vin Wiki, and they bring this guy on who like repossessed the Batmobile. Right. And so they bring the guy on who repossessed the Batmobile, and I was like, because I repossessed shit, that was part of it was a job I had for years. Right. And I watched that, and I was like, oh God, please don't let me come off like Dog the Bounty Hunter. Fucking please. No. But it was funny. It was cool.
I mean, they do a right job. They get sometimes, like, I think they forget that normal people exist. So they're talking about their Lamborghinis and this and that, and it's like, okay, great. You know, that doesn't really affect me.
You don't have to worry about that with Phil.
Yeah, no shit. No way. I am the tightest fucking Scotsman you're ever going to meet. It is hard to get me to spend money on a thing.
But yeah, I think everybody will enjoy it. It was fucking funny, dude. I'm really stoked about it. It's gonna be fun.
I think it'll be good. We had somebody bring into the shop the other day, probably 2005-ish, Yamaha Star, like a 950 cruiser, and those are one of the ones that's just trying so hard to be a street glide.
Hey, that's Tim Hartnett and what's her
and Carol.
Yeah, Carol. Yep. Okay, wow.
And in my first shop over on West 122nd in Lorraine.
Yep.
So this guy brings his bike in. It was a $30,000 paint job on a $4,000 bike.
Yikes.
And the best way I can say it is, do you remember when Eddie Van Halen redid his Frankenstein paint scheme from the guitars, but he redid it with like a bunch of splashes of paint on it, so it wasn't just the electrical tape stripes.
Yeah, it was like the 90s.
But it was the 90s version. It was the Sammy Hagar's here now. Yeah. Right? They got to put a little Florida in there, right? And so that was this bike, but it was done in blue. And it was done in a color of blue that I can only say is legit like squished Smurf. And this bike is horrible looking. I mean, there's not one thing about this fucking motorcycle that I would be like, totally great. Yeah. So he goes, well, it's only got 5,000 miles on it. It runs perfectly. And he's like, everything's original, right down to the tires. Bad sign. Yeah. Incredibly bad sign.
Good. So it's the oil and...
Yep. Really bad sign. So he's like, it's never been rained on. It's never been wet. And I'm like, but it's clearly only been totaled once, and that's how you ended up with this fucked up paint scheme. Like, somebody hooked you up on this paint job and just went crazy.
Yeah, they were like, all right, you need a deal? Let me see what colors I have left.
I was going to say, he had 21 half pints of paint left. Because there is no place on this bike that ever consumed a pint of paint. It is 1,000 layers of awful, and not 1 inch of tape was used.
Wow.
It's crazy how ornate and expensive the paint work failed to be. Like, it's awful. And so I had to tell the guy, and this is when you have that conversation. You're like, according to Kelley Blue Book, if this bike was normal, average miles, 12,000 miles, factory paint job, just the way it was, it would be worth $3,500.
Right.
But because of what you've paid to have done to it, it's now worth $2,500 because 90% of the viewing audience doesn't want to be seen on this.
Right.
It's terrible.
Like, you'd be better off getting a can of flat spray paint.
Well, this is kind of the thing. I told the guy, I was like, if I want to sell this bike, if I want to have any chance of anybody coming in here and buy, I'm going to have to spend about $300 just to paint it black.
Right.
Or I'm just going to have to go online and buy tins, you know?
It's trying to burn the fire. It's trying to... get away. Wait, get this thing. Go home, fire. You're drunk.
Oh, the humanity.
It was going after the power cable, though.
Yeah, cable for sure. It is so warm right here. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, but it was the worst custom paint scheme that I could imagine anybody ever paid for.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys pictures later. I got them, but it's fucking awful. Now that is a great cautionary tale for like, I have a vision for a paint job.
Yep. Not executed.
Look, man, do not think you might be selling that bike in a year.
Well,
do not,
to your point, I was watching, I my new addiction is watching like master painters and stuff because I'm kind of into it. And so every once in a while I'll get one that's not that good. And so this guy was talking about how he goes to Harley rallies and he makes 10 grand a weekend doing one-shot flames. So basically, like, you have a Harley that's clear coated and done and everything's cool.
Right.
He degreases it, hand paints with a brush a flame on it, and then airbrushes over the wet paint just some like little like textural thing.
Okay.
And then pinstripes it with one shot, basically Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
And people pay him $500 and it takes them like an hour to do these flames.
So you get flames on your bike for $500 in an hour.
On top of the clear coat with no protection.
It's the temporary tattoo of the motorcycle world.
For $500.
It's a henna tattoo.
Like, and it might like if you wax it, it might last for a while. But if you spill gasoline, that shit's fucking.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. Most pinstriping, honestly, pretty bad that way.
Unless you clear over it.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that is.
It was nuts. I was just like, damn. Like, and people pay. And this dude's like, he has lines. He has to take appointments at these fucking bike shows. So I was just like, man, that's I don't know. That's something I don't get.
And
he has the same stencil. He just sticks on the bike.
It's what it is. It's like when you go to
airbrush around
Myrtle
the
Beach.
edges.
You go to Myrtle Beach or somewhere, and the guy's like, it's the t-shirt guys at Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
And I guess people ask him to put his signature on their bike because he's like some guy.
Hey, cool. Hey, look, if you're making money doing something,
congratulations.
Right on, baby.
It's equivalent to the airbrush guys that they had at the mall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm not hating on the guy.
Right.
Good for him, man. He found a thing.
But it's like when you go to Myrtle Beach and you're like, I'm going to get a t-shirt to commemorate Myrtle Beach. Right. And like, I'm going to get a t-shirt. I'm going to Block Island. Quick. Let me get one of them quickie airbrush t-shirts. Can you make me look like a caricature?
I'm not seeing it.
My Harley's going to come home with a tramp stamp.
That's exactly what it is. It's the henna tattoo and braids. Yeah. It's like, oh, so you went to South Beach.
but the thing they have a way out though, because it's not 100% permanent. Because with the right,
it's a long shot from permanent. Yeah, you got some oven cleaner, you're back to square one.
Right.
Yeah. If you got a half an hour sunshine and oven cleaner, all sins are forgiven.
Yes.
You can sell that bike again. Right. Yeah, the brain cancer bike that was in here, that orange Harley. That Fat Boy Low, we sold that. So that bike went away finally.
Nice. Wow,
and it wasn't a scam. The guy who said, I'm in the military, I move around a lot, I don't have a fixed post office address, right?
All of
those things, and he was legit.
Wow.
I know, and a hell of a nice guy, too.
Don't you feel bad for the poor Nigerian prince who's actually out there trying to buy something? I am from Nigeria. I want to buy your...
Oh, the Lord hated me so. I was born a Nigerian prince and I cannot make purchases.
Did you ever see 919 Baiter or whatever it is? So like the Nigerian area code is 919 or something like that. And there's a guy who has a YouTube channel where he's made his life's mission
baiting
to work these dudes
scammers.
Over. Yeah. So he's gotten these dudes to get tattoos of his name. Like he'll be like, oh, I will send you the 20 grand, but I really need to believe it's you. So if you can get a tattoo of Nick Schmutzler on your arm, and then they do it, and they show them and stuff.
Oh, they grab somebody and they hold them down and tattoo them and take a picture.
I was gonna say, that's the next, teenage college kid that they latch their hands up to. The next UNICEF
but
worker.
Somebody's getting tattooed.
God, look at the nails sticking in that thing.
Yeah, that's good.
That's one of the best pallets I've ever taken apart.
I hope you're not planning on parking bikes over here tomorrow.
What are you talking about?
All the nails are inside
All
the
nails
fire.
are still in the wood. They're in the bottom of the barrel.
But my favorite part was when you were dismantling the pallet. Yeah. And Steve was standing over it, and you were like, the motion was to come up with this way with nails.
Yeah, we were using a leverage.
Yeah.
It was a lever.
But he was in the perfect position to just
if it would have followed through, he would have just had a 2x4 coming out of his scrot.
I'm married.
He comes in with a pierced cock and cat's all, she's pissed off. She's
but can you imagine that 4-inch nail right through your ball?
Not the first time.
This is true. What's the worst thing that ever happened at podcast? Got a pierced dick. Prince Albert.
With a rusty nail.
With a rusty nail. Now I got to get a tetanus shot.
That would have been 300 material right there.
That's a tough one. Yeah. That is. Oh, that is 300 material for sure. But now we got to work towards 400. So there you have
it. For 302, we threw a drone in a fire, a pound of weed into a fire.
I think so. Yeah.
We've almost lost nuts.
For 305, I'm going to ride the Super Hawk.
For 305, we should Super Hawk related for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be a dead of the winter.
It will be.
Or
yeah.
it could be a La Nina.
Right, it could be.
No, it's gonna be.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, it'll be December. It'll be like December 1st.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As long as it's above
For 305.
35.
Yeah.
You know, I think also,
Or we could just talk about it.
Or we'll just
or what we
Right.
can do is,
That's true.
once Steve gets his thing set up a little bit more, we can just have a shenanigans weekend night and just film different elements of it and make it a bonus edition.
That could be it too. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You say that. You say the barn's got
He
a
burns down the house.
barn's got a dirt floor. Yeah.
Yeah, weren't you? You said we were going to burn down your old house. I was all excited about it. I'm a pyro, dude. I like to burn stuff.
Well, yeah.
We're
Still
driving
waiting
through
for
it.
them to get their crap out of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like
That sounds like a their problem, not a your problem.
Raccoon faces looking out at me.
What? Really?
40 raccoons living in the house. I
Wow.
was gonna bait them.
Oh, don't you dare.
There are 40. There are.
They're all gonna die.
Go on the microphone. All I'm hearing is a
I can
fire.
think it all
Yeah,
die
go-
in
go to the
house,
microphone.
too. My way. My way is 22 whisper rounds.
Yeah.
I just bought a BB gun.
Microphone. Microphone.
You shoot.
Okay, so
You
Steve,
You shoot one. You shoot one, and the other ones start feeding off of it.
so what I'm like, I know this is BS and whatever, but apparently I've been smoking. So I am high right now. That's the weirdest thing. Okay, so you say you've got 40 raccoons living in that house you bought?
Yep.
Can you see them? Like,
Oh yeah, they're
It's
on
a hive.
the cameras.
so you have evidence that there's raccoon activity physically in the house, in the
Oh,
structure.
yeah, I haven't gone. I bought this whole property without even going in the house. I don't want to go in there. I want to burn it down.
Okay, all right.
I don't want anything to do with the house.
I think if we make a very, very small controlled cooking fire in the lower level, that it will encourage the raccoons and maybe like leave the attic doors and whatnot open.
I've got the perfect thing. We're
Yeah.
gonna deep fry a turkey in the kitchen.
And just like all turkey deep frying adventures, next thing I know, Dad has no skin. You know, that's it. 3rd degree burns for all my friends. That happened in Mexico to us one time.
Make sure you fill it all the way up to the top before you drop the turkey.
Before you
in.
drop the turkey in. Well, I mean, that is a unique opportunity.
To deep fry a turkey?
No, to have
we're gonna
a live action raccoon shooting range.
No, we're gonna capture them all alive.
Okay, we're gonna capture them all alive.
and they're all gonna get released out into the wild.
Look, man, I think
I
they're
really saw
adorable.
mine.
I love watching raccoon videos. I have no greater joy in my life than to watch a raccoon get scared, stand up on its hind legs, and go, "Hacha!" Right? I mean, I think raccoons are hilarious. Like, I've seen the videos. They're walking past the security camera, you know, like a raccoon on all fours, but then they hear a noise and they just stand up and go, "I'm a human." You know, I'm supposed to be here. Yeah.
What the hell was that?
What the hell was that?
I used to have a heart traps.
Yeah.
I always catch the raccoons and
Yeah.
I release them in a 55-gallon bucket of water
Release them in a 55-gallon bucket of water.
in the cage. Well, I mean, I kind of release.
He's
them
actually just
after-
trying to do genetic
after they
research
go
and
in.
breed amphibious raccoons.
And this is where COVID-21 comes from.
Oh
basically.
my God.
One day I will find the one mutant raccoon that can
He's
breathe
going to
underwater.
find the one mutant raccoon and then crossbreed it. And he's going to have raccoons with gills
Aqualung.
and little flippers. Oh, if raccoons had flippers, that would be awesome.
Dude,
That would be
the
adorable.
raccoon's
Wouldn't
gonna
they be
bite.
beaver? Wouldn't that just be a beaver?
It would be a beaver.
The raccoon.
Oh, shit.
The raccoon's gonna bite Steve, and Steve's gonna go look where it was living.
Oh, shit.
And he's gonna find like bat and like black chicken thing from Wuhan. Like the fucking raccoon ordered the shit.
That's
Raccoon man, raccoon man.
Why don't we just cross a raccoon with a bat?
Right.
A bat-coon.
Bat coon.
That's the scariest thing ever.
I read a book that had rakunks in it.
Hold on a second. Whoa. You just said racunts.
Rakunk. Like a raccoon and a skunk.
That's not what I heard.
Rakunks in it.
No, what I heard was something totally different.
Raccoons.
It was a totally different kind of pelt. Yeah. Holy shit. To our podcast listeners, episode 302 got a little stoned.
Rakunk.
Apparently I'm at cruising altitude over here.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Because I'm hearing you on 20-second delay.
Downwind.
Yeah. Jesus Christmas. A rack hunt is just. I mean, that's horrifying. Yeah. But again, it does seem like an interesting problem to have 40 raccoons living in a house that you don't care about.
Right.
It does seem like a really good YouTube opportunity.
It does.
Right. Is there anything else in the house other than raccoons?
I have no idea. I haven't been in the house.
You haven't been in the house. Okay.
No, all I want to do, like I said, is I want to remove the top floor. I want to remove the first floor.
Remove the first floor.
And turn the basement into a pool.
So you have an indoor pool that is just the whole house.
Yeah.
And we could dive from the second story bedrooms into the basement pool. I say leave the raccoons in for that.
Hey, Steve, we need to go in there.
We need slides.
We need to get a video camera in there.
Oh, you need to get a couple of cameras in there. And then
do some urban exploration.
Well, and then also just put catnip out there or whatever raccoons are partial to. Because if you could have a video, like 2 or 3 cameras, and then a bunch of stoned raccoons.
Yeah.
Okay, so when the neighbor, before the guy died, like 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
He would feed these raccoons out his back window.
So he'd feed raccoons out his back window.
But he would shoot all the groundhogs. So you'd see this, this hand come out the back window and feed the raccoon. Then the hand would retract. Then you'd see a barrel of a gun come out the window.
Shoot a groundhog.
Shoot the raccoon.
You must be at least this cute to survive my backyard.
So then the raccoons would come to my. So there were like, I don't know how many raccoons there were. Yeah. There were like 20 in my. They dug a hole. They chewed through my siding, and they were in my crawl space up at the top, man. So I started trying to have a heart traps.
Yeah, right.
So the neighbor's looking at me, and I catch these raccoons in my have a heart traps, and I have a 55-gallon drum with water. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, ding.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they reach up, and like their hands are like human hands.
Well,
so the hands like this out of the cage. It's like
awful.
It's like the Titanic.
I think the correct answer for this is a trebuchet. Because that would be like, I'm flying.
Paint me like one of your raccoon girls.
They have that. I saw a guy who did that with squirrels.
I love the squirrel. I love the squirrel trebuchet. Because the squirrel just disappears. Like the squirrel's like, look at me. I'm gonna sneak in and eat these nuts, and then the squirrel just disappears. The squirrel gets raptured up so fast that the high-speed camera can't catch it. There's just a shadow where a squirrel used to be. What's that?
Trebuchet?
Well, he has a slingshot.
Yeah.
So he's got a slingshot with big elastic bands, and it's got plenty of power behind it. And then the squirrels go over and they activate the slingshot by like stealing some bait. But then when they activate the thing, there's so much tension on it that the squirrel just disappears into like literally the olden days. Like it goes back in time, and there's just squirrel poo, and that's all that's left is just squirrel shit. But they did the high speed on it, and when you look at the high speed video, I've seen things done at like 120 frames per second, but you still can't see the squirrel. You just see like the tail.
Well, just like squirrel and then squirrel.
You just gave me a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up one of those tennis ball cannons or those potato cannons.
Okay, yeah, potato cannon. Yep.
I'm gonna have it loaded.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it like at an angle aimed at the valley.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put sunflower seeds.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna have it. It'll have a wad in it.
Self-loading. A sabot or a sabo.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll have sunflower seeds in it. So then I'll have a trip.
Yep.
When
it's an automatic firing
goes down there to get the
raccoon potato cannon.
Fires.
I love it.
And sends them right into the valley.
I think that's not going to send them anywhere. It's just going to kill them.
It may do what we call inversion. It may make the insides the outsides.
Well, if you want to get crazy, you can get a BlackBerry Pi or a Raspberry Pi. And then
you're talking about a computer device.
And then have it so that they can follow them, and it fucking just follows them. So any kind of motion, you get a vectored motion detector, add it to a couple of servos with the Raspberry Pi, and fucking have like a automatic turret in the backyard.
I think Raccoons Home Alone is a new YouTube channel. And I think Raccoons Home Alone, and then basically give them various things to interact with. I think you're gonna have a lot of viewers real quick.
There was a dude that just did you know how there's American Ninja?
Yeah, the Squirrel Ninja.
Yeah, the thing.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
His backyard is all set up for Squirrel Ninja, and then he rates them all. And it was the pregnant girl that did really well.
But then Fat Tony or whatever sucked. Like he couldn't do shit.
No, they just broke it and stole all of it.
I like the one like the rope ladder with the 2 points. And these little fuckers be like,
Again, motorcycle podcast.
So what's that show with all those weird people living in a house like
The Real World.
So
but it could be the raccoon real world.
Is that what you're saying? Do the raccoon world?
The raccoon
Or are you
real
talking
world.
about Big Brother?
Or Big Brother, right?
Yeah, it would be more Big Brother because they wouldn't know the cameras are there.
No, they have no idea the cameras are
Dude,
there.
that would be interesting just to see what they do.
Oh, you'd have PETA watch it all day long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, look at them.
Just have various different things that the viewers can trigger remotely.
Right.
Right.
How high could you shoot a raccoon?
I think
I'm pretty high over here right now, and
as the dude who doesn't like to hurt things,
Right.
You should give them a chance, though.
Yes.
Like you should give them like if they don't steal this, then they can get out. But if they take this, then they get like emancipated.
I'll give you 10 steps.
I have a good idea. Weather balloons are really cheap.
That's true. Yep.
They're really, really cheap.
Yep.
They're really, really cheap to load up and send up a weather balloon, and they do come down.
Eventually.
Yep.
Can you imagine
not at your
calling
place.
like your local airport? It's like, hey, I'm about to let a weather balloon go, and it has a raccoon on it.
Negatory, good buddy. Just let that thing go. Just let it fly. And I'm thinking we do a group launch, maybe 10 or 12 raccoons at a time.
A cluster.
Just a cluster. Because the Japanese tried to firebomb us that way. You know, like they sent, incendiaries across the ocean. I think it'd be the great thing because they'd end up in Canada.
That was a movie where they had these wagons full of starlings.
Yeah.
And they lit them on fire and let them go, and they flew into this town and
my
burnt
God.
the town
Oh
down.
my goodness.
Holy shit.
That's insane.
I tell you what, if
Yeah.
a bunch of raccoons on weather balloons
Yes.
going to Canada
Yeah.
do not end up on the national news.
Again, I predict a very high chance of survival for the raccoons. Very high chance. Also, adorable.
We'll call it up.
I like raccoons. I look.
like possums.
Possums are awesome. Yeah.
Our possum's awesome.
They are.
Would you say it was an awesome possum?
Yes, I would. I had one under my deck named Ned.
Raccoons are
And
buffoons.
Ned was great. He ate all the bugs. We used to give him snacks. He never bought. They sleep all day.
They're
They don't
probably
fuck
awesome.
with you. Yeah, they're fucking great, man.
It's good. Awesome.
I had to catch a possum in my
I
basement.
had a
once.
skunk in
caught
my
it with
garage
oven
like
mitts.
a month ago.
Oh, really?
It walked right past me. I'm sitting here, and he went under the Corvette.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, they're cool. They won't fuck with you until you fuck with them.
oh, I didn't fuck with him at all. I can
Would you guys like to?
You know my wife. Every time there's a skunk out, my wife's outside kissing them.
Yeah,
She's
my wife.
fucking feeding them and kissing them and fucking
Same way.
rolling in the dirt with them. I'm like,
Okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
I will give you a tip because I was, I grew up in.
Well, I mean, she's used to hanging out with you.
When I was a kid, I volunteered at the Penitentiary Glen Animal Rescue Shelter.
yeah.
And so we worked on, helping out animals that were in bad shape. And I did learn that skunks will give you every kind of warning before they unleash on you.
Yeah.
So the first thing they'll do is they'll look you straight in the eye, they'll hiss, and they'll beat their fists against the ground. So if they beat their fists against the ground,
Go.
you have been given ample warning to stop and retreat.
Because it
Cease
takes
and
them
desist.
Yeah.
a long time to build up their stink.
It's mostly just they don't want to, right?
That's-
so
yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
fair
saying.
enough. Because think about it, I don't want to do that either, right?
My ass is going to smell for a long time after I do this.
Right.
I don't want to have to.
I don't want to waste it. So yeah, they'll beat their hands on the deck for quite a while before they let you know, before they let you have it. And so we would work with these, skunks, and yeah, if they started doing that, you'd set them down and get the fuck away.
I want to play patty cakes with this.
No, fuck no. Right. But it wasn't like one ever went off without giving you warning. It was like if you got sprayed by a skunk, you weren't adequately warned. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you, I forgot about how bad skunks were. And last year, I had to get up at 5:30 to catch a flight. My wife had to do something, all this shit.
Yeah.
It was like 11. I'm so tired. I got back up because the dogs were barking and they had to go out.
yeah.
So I let the dogs out and I hear, "Woo!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what is
Yeah,
that?
dude. Yeah.
And he comes back and he is just hosed.
That gives you that is the perfect example of how stupid dogs are.
Oh, they are.
Because you'll never find a cat that got sprayed by a skunk.
No.
Never.
No.
But dogs wander into skunks all the time and are like, hey, buddy, let's go play.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to stick my nose up your asshole. And skunks don't like that.
No.
And they're just like, yeah, okay, you're going to stick your nose in my butt.
So I'm tired as shit. This dog stinks. I won't let him in the house.
Yeah.
And I remembered the thing about tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Or what, I didn't have any tomato juice, so we had pasta sauce.
Oh!
So I'm dumping marinara sauce on this dog, rubbing him down, trying
You
to
got a nice basil thing going.
Right.
Yeah.
Some ketchup.
Has some Asiago. Everything in the house that's red is going on this dog. Yeah.
Dog. Everything but bleach went on this dog, man. Anything that I could get.
Yeah, I no way. And that's and yeah. There's no chance in hell. I used to love dogs. Now I have cats. Cats really.
I can't wait to not have dogs.
Yeah.
I love my cat, man. The dogs, they're a bunch of assholes.
They're not smart.
No, they're like, I love you so much. I know I just ate everything that you own and whatever, but I love you. Right. Like, fuck off, dog.
Yeah. Well, that and any animal that will eat out of the litter box. Right. So any animal that considers my litter box a buffet, fuck you. You're not really worth having in the house.
The best part, though, is that because they have wet noses, they always have the cat litter stuck to their
crust
nose.
on their nose. Oh, that's how you can tell.
They're like, what? And you're like,
what's wrong? No, I want to kiss you on the mouth.
Yeah, right.
No, dude. Yes, exactly. Bad news. No. Yeah, dogs should have jobs. That's great. Dogs that have jobs are really great.
My dog, when I was trading my Super Tenere for the FJ09, I didn't realize this because I had loaded the bike in a rainstorm at fucking Friday or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm loading the bike in the trailer. I'm leaving at 6 a.m.
You got a dag in the deal.
Dude, I get down there and I'm unloading the bike and I roll the bike down and there's 8 fucking dog turds just stuck to the back wheel.
What the?
I rolled the bike out at night. I didn't.
Yeah, you had no idea.
And so I rolled them
right through the dog shit.
Stuck to the knobbies.
So just full of dog shit. The knobbies are just full of dog shit. Nope.
I felt so bad.
Yeah, well, here you go. Here's your new bike, pal. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
You might want to. You might want to do something about that.
You might want to walk your bike.
You may want to wash that off. Don't let it spin up.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Don't let that spin up.
Or if you do, put your buddy behind it to check the tracking of the wheel.
Oh, that'll all go up in the genital area of the bikes. All those parts of the bikes that are hard to clean. Ugh, smell bad forever. Have that in a van on a cross-country trip.
No.
Awful.
No, those are Great Dane turds, dude. There was.
I have thrown boots away. Yeah, I have done that. I have thrown away perfectly good foot gear because it was just like, nah, I can't even have this in my life anymore. You can't clean it enough.
Oh,
yeah, that's it. Anybody got anything else?
No.
We can release these people for once under 2 hours. I think they deserve a nice tight podcast.
It was a
pity podcast.
A pity podcast.
That guy's got the biggest beer I've ever seen.
Puddle's Pity Podcast.
Look at that beer.
Oh, it's a beer sign. It's a very flat beer. Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's see your.
That's what happens when you put a beer can on the railroad tracks.
I remember when I was a teenager and I used to steal stuff from bars that was hanging on the walls. Like, check it out, man! I got a Miller High Life thing. Fuck, I don't like Miller High Life, but I got a Miller High Life thing hanging on the wall or whatever.
Dude, my thing in high school, you know how everybody had the Heather Thomas posters?
Yes.
And all that in the bikinis?
Yeah.
I'd write the little Kilroy was here guys sticking out of their panties on every fucking one, everywhere in the whole world.
Yeah. I stole
little dudes like this sticking out of the panties.
I stole the Elvira Coors one. Yeah, that was good. That was the Elvira Halloween one.
Okay, so
I was out with guys 3 years ago. We stole a fucking Jack Daniels stole out of a bar.
But so you brought up Elvira before we killed this. How old is she? Because
I'll tell you.
I followed her on Instagram or something. And she's still posting hot pictures. I'm like, are these
she's
old
fantastic.
ones or are they new? Or
no, they're new. I mean, she's legit. Like Cassandra Peterson. Let's find out.
That was like the late '80s, early '90s. She was popular.
Yeah. Well, she dated Elvis
Presley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or was friends with Elvis. Yeah. Read her book. Read her fucking book.
That's somebody, you look at Renee. She could be she's going to be 70 years old. And aside from,
she's 69 years old. Elvira is 69 years old. She was born in 51.
Good for her.
So she is 18 years old. September 17th, 1951.
So she was 40 when
Kansas
she was
girl.
she was 40 in the 80s when she was really out there doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought she was a lot younger than that. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Every
I
single
wonder what kind
time.
of diet she's on. She probably eats well.
I mean, she's just.
Yeah, there's something.
I'm going to say another one, just like Dolly Parton. Elvira, a national treasure.
Yeah, totally.
It may just be the boobs again. I'm maybe focusing in on
she
that.
seems like she's got a good heart, though.
Every time I've ever seen her live or anything and read her book, the book is great. Please read the book. The book is fantastic. Listen to her when she's guests on podcasts. She's a very, very smart, very cool person.
Ooh, we should get her on the podcast.
I do not think that would happen.
I really think they're.
I would buy an Elvira pinball machine, though. I really want the Elvira's Haunted Mansion, like the Elvira's Haunted Hills pinball machine, the new one. And I like if somebody was like, well, if you buy that machine, she'll get on your podcast. We'd have that right now. Yeah, that would be right there. There was no doubt.
Is there
about
any way we could ever get any kind of real celebrity on the podcast?
What do you want?
I think you already burnt your bridge with Drew Carey. Drunk dial.
I was going to say I have accidentally drunk dialed him a few times.
What did you do?
Yeah, that one. That might be.
That's a Moto stories.
That bridge might be burned a little bit. That one may be scorched a teeny bit.
I feel like it'd be no problem to have you and McGregor come here and talk about his monkey bike.
Well, that's what I have an in on that. So like the guy from Adventure Riders, like I've been communicating with him quite a bit. And he obviously did an interview with him. So I'm working on a couple things. I'm going to try to get some of these dudes.
That'd be cool.
I really Francona.
My problem, we could get Tony Francona.
Oh, okay, Tony. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, me? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Here's the thing, though, is I would always feel like doing a podcast where we had a celebrity interview.
But you still have to be normal. No, I mean, our normal.
Right. I was going to say.
No.
Our normal's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, we got to send them a few examples so they know what they're getting into.
Well, that's
the worst thing you could do.
No, not with like a Charlie Barman.
They can't put their name on.
I'm going to tell you.
I think some of these guys, they don't give a shit. I think some of them do and some of them
We
don't.
lost ACF 50. And it's a lubricant.
Industrial.
For fuck's sake, man. It's an industrial lubricant. And we lost them. They quit being our sponsor. Again, I mean, do you think Blaster would sponsor us?
No.
Not even sponsor us. Just even show up for a couple of interviews.
Well, you know what? They might because they...
Do you know who left us? Metal Rescue. And their whole thing is all about like, don't let your tool get rusty.
Right.
You know?
Same with Blaster. Don't bust your nuts. Well, I can tell you this about Blaster because I worked with them for quite a while.
Yeah.
They were all in on the Starboys being Starboys.
Yeah.
But then when Scott became Jesus Scott, and he was like, I'm only going to do this at prisons.
Right.
They were like,
ClevelandMoto, we're only doing this in prisons.
Right. But the best line.
Nick is so not allowed to show up.
The best line I've ever heard come out of a corporate office ever was when they were sitting there and like I was in the meeting and they were like, yeah, we gave this guy like $400,000 worth of the truck and all this stuff to go and promote our shit.
Right.
And then he tells us that he's only going to go to prisons because now he's doing the Jesus thing and he wants to reach out to people. He's like, let me ask you one thing.
How much penetrant do they need in prison?
He said,
because they have enough penetrant.
Well, he said, how much are we going to sell to people that are stuck in prison?
That's right.
And
how much lube? Wait, hold on. Lube, on the other hand, call Astroglide. We got a deal.
Right.
I know a lot of people on the first floor that would be really happy to find an Astroglide sponsorship, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's terrible.
So much spit saved.
I haven't had spit in years. But I don't know why the fuck. Like, it is. We've tried. It's not that we haven't tried.
No,
we have tried. I know. The problem is our content becomes banal and predictable.
Yeah, but Joe Rogan changed that. Joe Rogan gets fucking dumb with people. And he gets belligerent and stupid and celebrities.
So we could have Joe Rogan on our podcast.
I was going to say maybe Joe Rogan is sponsor us.
He could get back to his roots now that he's making like $58 million from his podcast.
Hey,
more power to him. I'm not mad about it, you know?
Yeah. I don't ultimately.
Well, in his case, you would want it because there's no stipulations. He's still him.
Yeah, that's true.
So that, you know what I mean? That's what you want. That's the deal you do want. If
we could have like Kid Rock. We could have like some. Who else is?
I think that we should.
Gene Simmons.
I think we should interview Evil. I think we should interview Evil Knievel from the grave.
Yes.
Or Robbie Knievel. That would be dope.
We could seance Evil Knievel.
Ooh.
I wouldn't want to interview Robbie Knievel because, again, he probably just gets so many people interviewing him that ask him questions about his dad, right?
Yeah.
No, we'd have to do it different.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right. If you're going to interview somebody like Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman, they're going to, they're going to ask about that. But I'm going to be more interested in like, come on, guys. It took you 100 days to get from South America to LA.
Right.
You had to do some weird stuff.
Yeah.
just forget about the motorcycle stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you had to do some weird stuff.
No, that's definitely
There had to be just some weird shit. Too many cameras though, but yeah.
Dude, you got me in. Now I'm thinking about this.
Yeah.
And if we could find people with some cool voices, we could do some holographic interviews.
From the grave. Yeah, we could interview some people from the grave for sure. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Indian Larry being like, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. You knew that was going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
You knew that this was eventually going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you stand on your motorcycle long enough.
There he goes. That's it. He's doing like 40 miles an hour on this.
This is probably the slowest he's ever gone because it's really cold out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I did check, and it has dropped to officially 41 degrizzles.
Nice. I like how that dude, though, is smart. He's wearing like a jacket.
Yes.
He's got a helmet and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, every schmuck that's drunk downtown, they're like, hey, take this fucking Lime bike and go nuts.
Oh, and in Akron, downtown Akron, they have those spin scooters now.
Yeah.
And people are just.
Do they have
insane.
seats?
No, they do not.
They're stand-up.
Stand-up scooters.
Right. Yeah.
They're pretty quick.
They're
though.
quick. Yeah, they're quick.
And I've already come up with a plan with stealing a bunch of them. But
So I did find out when we were in maybe Seattle that you could two up on those.
yeah,
Nuts to butts.
That's the butts. Yeah. Merritt and I two upped on one of those Lime bikes or whatever the hell it was. One of those scooters.
whatever the name. Bird.
It's a bird, or something, right?
Yeah.
And again, always spelled wrong. But but we did it two up, and I was like, well, look, I mean, because there are a lot of people in the world that are over 350 pounds,
Right.
and let's see if it works. And it worked, and it was great. But it is really tough to ride a stand-up scooter with two people.
Oh, yeah.
and I the first time I rode one was in Austin, and it was kind of hilly and it was wet.
Yeah.
Holy shit, these are dangerous.
Yeah, they're a little dangerous. Yeah. But I think it's good population control. You know, it's like, What you do if you really wanted to make it fun is like every 10th one, I'd put a ringer motor in. So like every 10th one, we would just have the HP version that would just be shit hot in trouble, right? And then have a camera on that one, just a camera hidden in it. So the guy that like gets on it has been on these things 1,000 times, and it's just looking up at his face.
You know, I just thought of something. Fuck. Call me, scooter companies. This is the idea. So say you're an avid Lime scooter or Bird scooter user, right?
Okay, right.
You can go to their website. You can purchase their helmet, and it has a little chip inside of it. And when the scooter recognizes the helmet, it gives you an extra 15 miles an hour. Right? That's a fucking good idea, man.
That's the Bird Gold.
Gold, yeah.
The gold. And the helmet is gold and it has wings.
Or the Blackbird.
The Blackbird. Again,
that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. I'm all over that idea. I no problem with that idea. Yeah. Well, okay, that's it. We're gonna keep it at 2 hours. That's it.
Nah, we're good.
Oh wait, are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You thought we dropped out.
No, I was just teasing.
We didn't sing the song.
I'm just teasing.
I know, it's crazy. It's just that. Yeah.
So
we'll see you guys for episode number 303.
Oh, that's kind of, for me, that's an old acid house thing. 303, TB 303.
Oh, for me, it's Winchester.
Oh, it's Winchester. Okay.
Yeah, for me, 303's got to be Winchester.
Maybe we have to do something big for that. We'll see. Well, we can't make any
British.
promises, though. We're not making any promises. Nothing. No promises.
Oh, no, 308's
Next week's
Winchester.
gonna suck.
303 is British. Yeah, 303 is British, 308's Winchester.
We're trying to under excite people. So don't even tune in next week.
No, just fucking take the day off.
Under promise, over deliver.
That's my goal here at the shop. We believe in under promising and over delivering. Yeah, that is exactly it. All right, on that we should all fucking ride fast and take chances.
This car.
Listen to this shit.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my god! Drinking a tall boy, driving that squeaky belted.
Right behind the cop.
Press the red button. Fuck, we're out of here.